All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Worcestery Council Theatre 3000. Brian O'Donnell, I'm here with Travis and Brendan. I'll have Bill along shortly, coming back from his European trip. I wanted to start off tonight just talking a little bit about Marcellus Williams. In about less than 45 minutes, he's due to be executed by the state of Missouri. By all accounts, an innocent man. Not only by the lawyer that prosecuted him, the family of the victim, and just the basic facts of evidence. I'll say that at least the conviction was wrong, and likely he had nothing to do with it. Despite that, they've rejected his appeals for clemency. The governor, the state Supreme Court, and now the U.S. Supreme Court. And I just wanted to acknowledge that it's a travesty. And I don't know why we do this. I don't know why this. I'm not saying like I don't know why we do this in the way of like, oh well, like I don't know why we accept blatantly unjust things that have no basis in fact, reality, no purpose beyond racism, punishment, and I really honestly like banal like politics, like keeping your elected position over the well-being of innocent people that live in your state. I don't know why we just go along with that. I don't see why do we follow any rules in this country if the rules don't work for people, not only that, are actively out to get certain people. I don't know how we it's hard to say let's watch the city council tonight and really give a shit about what's going on and engage with it on the level when there is no level. There's like actionable things should happen to the governor of Missouri. Things I won't say for my own personal desire to not spend any more time in jail. But the things that you're thinking that I'm not saying right now should happen to him. And it sucks that they get to get away with it. It sucks that in the pursuit of claiming that somebody is guilty of a murder that everyone agrees they didn't do, that DNA evidence agrees they did not do, that you're going to commit a murder for convenience. I just don't know, like, I don't know what to do with that. I don't really know how to like function as a regular person when shit like that happens. And again, in 40 minutes, they're going to kill this guy. And a lot of people are just fine with it. And a lot of people are actively rooting for it despite knowing better because it helps them with, an election in 6 weeks or donations for said election that they can then launder into their own personal accounts. I just don't know how we frame that, how we function like that, without making bad things happen.
And if you make a bad thing happen, please make sure to unsubscribe from this Twitch stream beforehand. That's all that we ask. Not saying that you shouldn't do anything, but just
give us a little distance so that they don't put us in jail. And also don't do anything that's like, don't let yourself get caught. That's stupid because we've just seen that it doesn't matter why you do something or if it actually happened, you will get fucked for it. If you're not, listen, and again, like the four of us would have a much better shot than most people. getting away with doing things. But and maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I just don't know how we let people get away with this stuff, and I don't really know where to put that when I am going about my daily life.
It just runs into the problem of being reminded acutely of the absolute powerlessness that you have in a society that's supposedly democratic, because it really isn't at all, like it never has been. So
no. Yeah.
So it makes watching the city council a completely futile exercise. But once you understand the futility of it, it's kind of freeing, right?
Well, that's where we can really get into our angles here about how we do things, at least on our local scale. I think I think it's hard to grasp both sides of that, whereas it's important but it means nothing.
Right. That's the duality of it.
Right. So I don't know, do whatever you want, just figure out ways to get away with doing everything that you want, because there's no such thing as the justice system. There's only getting away with it, or there's getting fucked for something you didn't do. And use your privilege to create havoc and create chaos, so that somebody that is innocent has a chance to live their life. Literally just live their life. This guy's not even he's not even asking to be free at this point. Like, he didn't do this crime. He maintains his innocence and was willing to accept an Alfred plea that would keep him in jail for the rest of his life. It's not even enough to just destroy somebody's life that is innocent. We have to literally destroy them. Like, we have to snuff them out.
Yeah.
Right.
For no fucking reason. Not even getting into the fact that the death penalty is ridiculous on any level is ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're doing it in cases where there is, like, at worst questionable whether or not this thing happened. Like, even if you want to give the state attorney general in Missouri like all the benefit of the doubt, it's questionable, and they won't even try and get it right. They sued to make sure that it didn't get right. The governor dissolved a panel that was re-examining DNA evidence that the jury never saw in the case. He dissolved the panel before they could come to their findings, before they could report their findings, just to make sure they don't get it right. So yeah.
All the news today has reminded me of a really good long form narrative podcast series called Bone Valley, which looks at a very similar case in Florida. And it really gets into the mentality of like the carceral state, where the reputation and the conviction rates of the prosecutors are more important to everyone involved than the truth of the matter, or justice in any sort of moral sense that we what we lay people, we commoners would understand of as justice is not really a contributing factor at all in the modus operandi and the rationale of people involved in maintenance of the carceral state. And it's the news today is just an extremely dark, extremely grim reminder of that.
Right. And and I see people talking about Biden can't step in because of blah blah blah. Lewis, this is kind of exactly what I'm talking about. You also can't execute an innocent person. You can't do that. And we're letting Biden get away with he can't, his hands are tied. What is he going to do? The rules have nothing to fucking do with it. I'm very over that, as as an excuse at this point for not holding him accountable as well, because the rules say a lot of things. The rules say that we have to stop sending weapons to Israel because of the way they've used them. The rules say that. The law says that. Right. And it doesn't fucking matter in that case. So
the rules are only ever invoked when it's the bad thing.
Right. It's only ever invoked when you want to avoid using your power.
Right.
Rules are never to stand in the way of somebody exerting power, especially to the extent that it is not supposed to be allowed. Right. So I don't know, like, I don't give a fuck that he's not allowed to step in. Like, create a constitutional crisis. Like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah,
what are we doing? What is the point of doing any of this shit if you're just like, this guy is literally getting killed for no reason, and we're just gonna let it happen, and then tomorrow we're gonna sign a bill about like how TikTok is like bad? Like, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, you're gonna have a state visit with like the president of South Korea. Why? What the fuck is any of this stuff? Like, just don't pretend this is normal if we're not doing, like, if we're not going to do the basics of normal shit, which is don't as the state execute innocent people. But obviously we're well past that, and it's
also the very reason the supremacy clause exists. Like, to say there's nothing you can do is ignoring, like, to Bill's earlier point, like, I think it's the reason there is so much frustration with the reality that democracy representative or true seems to be completely absent from reality, is like, we really do kind of have this neat framework of shit that we can roll out. Yeah, like, you see somebody on the state level fucking up royally. It's the reason the supremacy clause is there.
I mean, I'm telling you, like, what in the last few years has led you to believe that there would be anyone is willing to hold anyone accountable, even if they technically can. Right. Like, do you think they're gonna arrest Joe Biden? Like you're not gonna be president in 10 weeks. Like, you're not even gonna be alive in 2 years. Like, fucking just do the right thing, you dumb piece of shit. Like, somebody fucking do the right thing. And it's all well and good for all of us to say, like, oh, we should do something, but literally they'll shoot us in the street. So it's, like,
and that's the really unfortunate circular part that kind of ties everything together, whether your concerns are wars of foreign aggression, unjust executions. It's like, there is nothing that government should take more seriously than their monopoly on violence, right? Like, we cede that right to government just by virtue of having government. And it seems to be the one thing that's actually weaponized against the public as a cudgel, instead of being like the thing that you take most seriously in terms of your overall responsibilities. Is that, like, yeah, you can be violent, and like, we sometimes kind of need you to do that, right? Like, thank you for that, but don't fuck us with it constantly.
And again, like, it is like, it's they'll use it at the drop of a hat when they, it's like somebody that can't train their dog and just goes, well, now I'm frustrated, so I'm going to hit the dog. Like, it's fucked up. I guess you can get away with it because the dog's not going to stop you, but like, they do it at the drop of a fucking hat, and yet norms are always, well, we can't. That would be really stepping outside of norms if we like stopped somebody from, like, that. It's like saying that, like, if Joe Biden was walking by and somebody was actively, like, about to shoot somebody in the head, and he was like, well, I'm not allowed to stop them because of the separation of powers. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I just can't. It gets me real mad. And I'm just saying, Governor, fuckhead, don't let me catch you in these streets. Don't let me into St. Louis. Don't let me anywhere in Missouri, because I'm gonna take you out figuratively with my words. I'm not still. Don't make that face, Travis. It makes it sound worse.
Gio,
I forgot I'm on camera.
But Geo Hellraiser just said a couple comments back, and I can't scroll up for some reason, about how Dems are constantly, in particular, letting themselves be constrained by norms that no longer exist. Like, that's actually the really, really sad part, is that over the last 20 years, you've watched our entire society basically become like 4chan message boards. And it's like the normies still don't realize that, like, yeah, there's not a conversation happening here. It's not like insidery shit that you just don't get. Like, the entire world has been memified and weaponized against you, and all of your social norms no longer matter. And you can't polite your way out of that, unfortunately. That's when half the population has decided that the rules no longer exist. The rules no longer exist. Like, somebody flipped the game board over. So it's time.
Right. And that's I mean, unfortunately, the response this year has been much like Christian King, is that they've just decided to move to the right instead of like actually, trying to do like, I guess early on in his presidency, I at least give Joe Biden credit that he did some unpopular, quote unquote, unpopular things socially. Never far enough to really make any difference overall in the country, but did things that were like unpopular electorally. But they've fucking walked that back big time ever since last October, and especially getting into this election, it feels like we're doing everything we can to slide to the right just to get some extra votes in Pennsylvania, instead of doing what is objectively right. I mean, like, now fracking is a talking point again. Like, it's just all so fucking dark that
Remember when Kamala Ding Dong said that we're going to have the most lethal fighting force in the world?
I'm talking about
lethal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have a gun. I'll fucking kill somebody if they walk into my house. Like, that's Kamala Harris essentially said that.
Yeah.
Like, give me a fucking break.
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to say that I'm here.
Okay. Thank you. A moment of silence to Adrian Angus, who's a part of the planning.
I gotta say, catching up on the minutes earlier this week and reading when Kate Toomey made a motion to remind people that the homeless water fountain for veterans is not gonna, the water won't be potable.
Right.
In that, oh shit.
I knew nothing about this gentleman that they just had the moment of silence for, until reading the story about him today. It's like a really, really impressive life and career. It's one of those people that I'm really kind of bummed out I didn't actually get to meet in Worcester.
Yeah.
Who was it? What was the deal?
He was the guy who was just elected to be the next head of the Worcester Bar Association, but he's he was a public defender who just, it seemed like everybody in the court system actually loved this guy. Father was an immigrant from Ghana. Apparently had some really, really powerful words after George Floyd was murdered, and had a lot to do with crafting the mask bars response to that.
Whereas,
just seemed like a decent dude.
Yeah.
Young guy, 39, died unexpectedly.
The importance of diapers and ensuring
I didn't hear about that. I haven't read up on my news today.
Bill, while you were gone, and I don't know maybe it's a Telegram thing. Maybe we're finally over the Telegram, but like, there's been a lot of deaths over the last couple of weeks that I feel like got no coverage at all.
Huh. And conveniently, Bill has an alibi. Interesting.
September 23rd through September 29th.
I got pictures.
National Diaper
International too. So it's not even state lines.
And thank Marie's mission.
But I mean, while you were gone, Barry Kroc passed away. I mean, that's like,
oh yeah, I caught that. I caught Barry Kroc passing away. Thank God, honestly, that's awesome.
But it just seemed like it happened without like anybody really taking note, which that was just weird to me. That
I know. I caught like the obituary page that was relinked in the 016. I didn't see it on social media or anything.
Finally, Irish Times can come back.
No, Catherine Croc
sign
still
by
holds
Croc
all of his
and
money.
the entire
True.
Worcester City Council. I'd like to have Jenny.
The Shiv Roy of Worcester.
Have you guys also noticed that the Telegram social media accounts are just posting clickbait, like for national, clickbait,
Yeah.
human interest stories? Like they can't even fucking do that right. Clickbait is completely like 2013, like
Yeah,
social media wise.
clickbait doesn't work anymore.
It's so fucking crazy.
Hi, my name is
That's-
Carrie Galvin.
yeah.
I'm the executive director of Marie's Mission. First, I want to say thank you for both the proclamation and the citation.
I thought that was a rain stick for a second. That guy's came, and I got
And
super,
I just
super
want
excited.
to reiterate the importance
Incorporated into
of
public comment
the diaper
somehow.
banks in the state of Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, it's about 40% of families do not have enough diapers. For
Yeah,
their
Camber
children,
agreed. Very much
resulting in
agreed.
Up to 5 days of missed work each month because they cannot send their children to daycare. It results in higher rates of child abuse, domestic violence, and health problems for those babies who don't have enough diapers.
You guys excited for Mo Bergman to
We are
reconsider
going at
the
an
speaking for no
astronomical
more
rate
than
right
5
now.
minutes
We had our
rule tonight?
distribution this past Saturday, and we served
I
190
I
families.
haven't watched the last meeting. I'm so glad that I haven't.
Accidentally,
Seems like that was the worst
diapers.
uh,
So that was over
hour of all time.
50,000 diapers
It's brutal,
gave out
dude.
this Saturday.
It's
Just
fucking
from reading the minutes
We
and
ask
how
for
long
your
the
continued support.
the description of the back and forth was, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers for diapers, Main South Mom.
Curiosity, if people want
Also,
to donate
Main South Mom, thank
diapers,
you for
they just drop
resubscribing. We
posting
really
or
appreciate
is
it.
Online.
Yeah, thank you, man. So
People listening, maybe.
Sub for 9
Thank
months.
you for-
Thank you so much.
And I think
So, yes, you can.
Eric, I don't know if we talked
drop
about,
off
but Epic
diapers
Stratton,
at
Eric
341
resubscribed last week as
Street.
well. We didn't have a chance
They're
to
housed
mention it.
in
Thank
the
you so
hall
much.
Behind St. Michael's Church there,
Okay.
and we have a drop off
Yeah, Epic
there. We also
resubbed
have
for
an
8
Amazon
months
wish
at tier
list,
1.
a PayPal, and any other way you want to support us.
that's great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Camber also resubbed it 8 months, but that was a
Camber.
little while ago. We're going to get better at calling these out.
Approval of the minutes of September 10th, 2024.
Oh, Camber literally just
Councilor
resubbed.
Bergman? Yes. Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor Gia?
Yes.
Councilor King?
I could have
Councilor
just
Mero-Carlson?
stated a tiny human, but all I got
Councilor
was
Hader?
to yap.
Yes. Councilor Basillo?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor
All right.
Yes. Public participation, a person may speak for no more than 2 minutes on the air appearing on the agenda.
Oh,
There's your
big
name,
news. Big news, everybody.
item number.
Check these out. Travis Duda's design
Oh, yeah, dude. Those look
has
so
come
good.
to life in a dad hat.
Yeah, dad hat.
A dad hat. Very nice. Pre-washed. Port Authority. If people care about brands like that.
Gorgeous.
Clasp on the back.
We live in a different
Got
time.
the Worcester
in a
Sucks
different
merch
era.
store. So glad to speak over Fred Nathan for this plug. There's
Can
about
happen.
18 left.
But
Oh,
I
you
don't
gotta
know
Meow.
if it's truly being done for that, or if it's being done to keep out the homeless and or the people who have mental issues that are outside here on any given
Wow.
day.
Fred
It
Nathan
doesn't take
talking
a
about the
rocket
metal
scientist
detectors.
to walk around the common to realize that there are people that have issues out there. So
Thank you, Gio.
I don't know if that's being done to keep people out of this building. I don't know. That's up to
Yes, system.
That's up to you, the city council and the mayor and the manager to determine that and listen to the public input.
Is that
Me and
Dylan
Katie
gonna-
took some psychedelics at
I'm
Stonehenge.
sure there are people
That
out
was
there
a
who
lot
will
of
say
fun.
Sick.
that
Did
is
you
Yeah.
figure it out?
racial. And
Yeah,
I hope
yeah,
that's not
I
the
did
case.
actually.
What is it?
But again, we don't know.
It's one guy
11
who said that winter's going to come again, and everyone else in the village was like, "No, fuck you."
the issue
No, it's not.
about,
And he's like, "Yeah, it is. When the sun rises over that specific rock, it means that winter's going to come again."
before
And
this
then winter
council,
comes, and they're like,
I didn't have it. as
"Oh
an
my
item.
God, he's a
I
god!
brought it up
Put more rocks there,
on
build
the
it bigger."
mobility, committee. I talked about
That's what it's all about.
if
Shit.
someone has
Yeah.
a walk sign that says you can walk, there is no way on this God's green earth
Got to tell you,
that
it was
someone
so
should, at the
depressing
same
and
time,
exhausting
have a
to
green
get
arrow
back into the
that
Worcester
no
news
man touch.
after spending a
When the
couple weeks away
councilors
from
here
it.
will talk and
It filled me with
a
a
downer.
with a
people
deep
who are getting
dread.
hurt and killed,
Well,
This is
Fred is
something very,
actually
very
saying
simple. It doesn't
smart
take
things right
an
now.
act
It's
of
fucking crazy.
Congress to change this, to say, wait a minute, we
Yeah.
can't allow people to be taking right-hand turns
I mean, he's doing
at
it
the same
stupidly
time
like
people
normal, but
walking through.
Can you wrap up
You
your
can-
comments, please?
Mr. Mayor, you can go out
Thank you.
and you can walk through any area and you will find this
Oh,
happening.
not what I thought he was gonna
Why?
say.
Why does it happen? We have traffic engineers. We got
Thank
people
you. I appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah, you appreciate it, but will you do something?
Yeah, okay.
Good question.
Spicy Nathan.
Idella has
Wow.
the city of Worcester.
Nathan's gone woke.
Doesn't make sense. The amount of dollars that would be spent on a full body.
Wow, George Russell's going to
equipment
take an
to
hour
have
of shit
people
eating
coming
for this
into
metal detector
our
thing.
city
I hope
hall.
so. It doesn't seem like there's a ton of people
Makes
there,
no
though. I don't know. Is
sense.
anybody in the room?
That kind of
I don't
money
know.
could be put to
I saw David
something
Webb.
else that is
That's
really
great.
badly needed
That's
here
about
in
the only
the
other
city.
person I saw. There's
Um,
clearly somebody in the back
and
row
it
asleep
wouldn't
in
make
this shot.
sense anyways, because pacemakers would set it up.
You know
So
that guy,
cool.
I think, right?
Wheelchairs wouldn't be able to get through it very well. We have 3 entrances.
Oh, Les is looking at his
That
phone.
would mean closing off 2. And if somebody was downtown for any reason, not just the homeless or anybody, and needed a restroom.
Oh, no. I
around
played
the
a
side.
show on Sunday where I was singing, and there's one song that
City Hall
absolutely shreds my
belongs to
vocal
us.
cords. So
It's
that's why.
ours. It belongs to the public.
When I woke up this morning, I
I
sounded
don't
like
think
that.
that should be forgotten. There's
You
no
did it for your
threat
art, though.
here.
I did it for my art.
don't
I was
think
screaming
that
so loud that
should be-
like my never mind. I'm not
If there
gonna.
was an imminent threat, I'm
I'm gonna just stop that little anecdote right there.
Dollars for this, but I don't see it.
This is a family
There's one
program.
that-
Everyone can just imagine. Yeah, this is a family program.
But that
Yeah.
was because
My little fucking diatribe at the beginning was totally family oriented.
2021, and they put that in
For humor, telling people to kill the governor of Missouri for humor.
Right, in GTA.
Yeah, yeah.
GTA 6, Missouri.
As far as 11E, it makes perfect sense. That's a no-brainer. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, fucking hit the post.
Hi, Adam Filker, and I do live in Worcester. I'm here to talk about 11B, but first I just want to say something about
11E isn't
revitalizing
a policy proposal. It's just asking for a report on.
Leave it to the artists. Nobody.
This is all pretend anyway.
This guy seems to be highlighting that the city of Worcester is not qualified to be running a arts festival, which is
On to the main matter.
They don't
Make
even
sure
run
they
out to
don't.
lunch anymore.
He-
That's the downtown Worcester bid.
and I can remember
I just
when
want want
was,
cheers, Idella Hazard.
government in New
I want to
Hampshire,
give her a little
I
cheers.
certainly got death threats.
Diet
And
Coke
these were from
twins.
people I knew who had guns.
Oh,
And
nice.
so- and we
People of
managed
taste.
To deal with it in a very sane and civilized way, nevertheless. Now, I don't think you're talking about full body scanners here like at the airport. I hope we're not, because that's what especially if you're going to do all 3 entrances, you're going to be taking up half of the downstairs.
They're gonna
With that,
scan
there's
all
gonna
3
be 9
entrances?
Employees at least, a lot of training.
I mean, this is the only thing that I see that doesn't make any sense about it. You want to have security theater, have security theater. That's fine. But the city of Worcester, just like running an arts festival, is not capable or competent in terms of putting together a security plan that's actually going to do anything meaningful. And if we can just acknowledge that out of the gate, then it just doesn't. It's not worth even discussing. Like, focus on potholes or whatever other licensing dogs or whatever other stuff you're finding challenging right now. But let's not try and actually harden City Hall because Mo Bergman is terrified of people. That guy with the stick is making Mo really nervous right now.
Yeah.
He could potentially reach Mo with the naughty end of that stick.
Yeah.
He's talking about
It's
major
shillelagh.
here. You're also hardening yourself as a target. And
Yeah, the city council should meet realistically
that
twice a
can be
year.
Very problematic. thing to do.
Wants to just rubber stamp the budget as they always do.
Being a bomb threat for
And then one more meeting the week before the election.
So with all of that, I think the matter
So
The
that we can
posture.
just jam pack all of that shit
further with it.
into
I don't think it's a good
that one
idea at
meeting.
all. Thank you.
Thank you.
See, Gio, that's a legitimate though. That's a legitimate. Obviously, I know you're not being like
My name is
dismissive, but
I'm a resident.
That's a legitimate concern for many people that go into City Hall that don't like, not that anybody wants it, but like that it's like actively to be outed. So
11B.
I think that's enough reason to not do it alone. Never mind all the other good reasons not to do it.
Because
Imagine you're that first year cop, you know, 2-3 years ago, you were the quarterback of the West Boylston football team. And now you're getting paid overtime to look at people's ding dongs. They're coming into City Hall. Like, how you must feel about that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that would a fall from grace.
Fall from grace, nothing. That's like step up in your career path. You want to be lead ding dong looker.
They have the.
If that was me, I'd nightstick a teenager too.
My experience as a veteran, as a disabled veteran, it's hard
In a video game.
because the guards are a private unit operating them. They have no people skills. They are armed, and they have no reasoning. They're there, and when I'm trying to get services met, I'm asking, please, can you scan me? I'll take everything out of my pockets. If I take my belt off, my pants will hit the ground. Can I get scanned? Oh, hold on 1 second. One girl asked at the courthouse, has to whisper to another one. Is that okay? When they have 3 other guys that are standing around doing absolutely nothing to ask permission, can they use the one that they got 4 of them sitting there to accommodate somebody with disability? Then, after, thank God they let me in. I went to the registry of motor vehicle.
I think you can now, Kimber.
This time, sir, only this time.
I believe the rules changed
I'm
last
saying,
year.
Don't you have accommodation for people who have handicap and disability? This blindness that we're putting on.
I went to the registry of motor vehicles today. I guess it's still kind of the new one up on Southwest Cutoff.
Just pop into Chuck E. Cheese after? Or?
No, I was, well, I was actually laughing thinking about that, but then I couldn't find my way over there because like the parking lot is such a nightmare. I was going to say, like, we could actually solve 90% of Worcester's issues with traffic violence just by pulling the license of people who can't park right in that parking lot.
In City Hall. Or
that is such a miserable place.
I saw the craziest accident there about a month and a half ago where someone just whipped out of that parking lot, like with like no regard for the fact that there's a traffic light there and it's technically a 4-way intersection.
I'm also here to talk about 11A.
Someone was coming down the hill and just, it's crazy.
11A. Let's leave the art festivals to the artists. They have a much better idea as to what is needed on those.
It's just such a wild thing to try and think that like the one place you would expect people to be on their best driving behavior is a complete fucking shit show.
Or just regular metal detectors. Most of these have been discussed already, but it does negatively affect people who have disabilities, particularly if you have a wheelchair or if you have other mobility aids.
Yeah, it's super fucked up.
It affects people who may have lots of metal in their bodies for whatever reason.
I was thinking about that driving over there because I'm over on like the far technic side of things. And depending on the time of day, I might be able to get to the Leominster office faster than I can get to the Worcester one.
That sets off metal detectors. So they would have to be scanned, which is another invasion of privacy. If you're talking about full body scans, you're also affecting people who are coming in who may be trans and not be wanting to have this body image come up that is not the one that matches who they are, which then results in other concerns about privacy and forced outing if necessary, which is not a good idea. And the biggest one finally is that it's just going to take up, it's an expense that we don't need. If the idea is to really just support the community, let's find ways to help the unhoused. Let's work with low barrier shelters. Let's work with programs that will actually provide the services that are most needy.
It's not about need, it's about Mo being timid.
Spend it on something that's just going to make getting into city.
It's George Russell's item though.
It is, yeah. But didn't
he should know better?
I think Mo brought it up originally, didn't he?
Yeah, Mo did bring it up originally.
Janet Davis, Worcester resident. Much like the other folks who are up here this evening, I'm also here on item 11B. Lots of people have already made a lot of great points. I just had a couple of questions, like why do we need this? What is causing this to be brought forward? And my concern is that it's just really another fear-mongering tactic to like further the narrative about our city being unsafe. when we know that really the real safety issue in the city right now is around traffic and road design. Again, how would this be funded? Other people have mentioned this. Are we planning to spend down ARPA funds for this? Those funds are supposed to be used for other things. As the previous person just mentioned, there are a lot of things we could be using this money towards. I just think that this is really very misguided, and I'm opposed to it just like everyone else.
Thank you. Just your name, city of residence.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Chrysostomo. I'm 27, and
Just say your age.
I live nearby Rice Square School. Rice Square.
Oh, that
Elementary.
fucking rules,
I'm not sure
man,
what
South
district
Mom.
it is
Hell
in
yeah.
Missouri. But I'm a small business owner in Worcester. I love Worcester. I own a recording label, but I'm here to advocate for the full body scanners in City Hall. Actually, I think it's important to keep our city officials safe.
Who paid you?
But I
what
was
record
called down
label?
here.
Who
It's
paid you?
prevention. You know, like for example,
Called down here.
when 9/11 happened, they upgraded the security in airports. So I think that we should get behind threats before they actually occur. I think that's very important.
Oh,
But
I'm
not
so
only
sorry
that,
to
but
inform
I
you of this,
also
but that's all
possibly
security
would like to speak
show.
out about full body scanners in Worcester Public Schools.
What a befuddling commenter.
Like Burncoat High School. With the increase of school shootings in the United States, I think it's our duty, to forward these procedures and keep our children, nephews, nieces, cousins, teachers, school nurses safe. Thanks.
Think of the cousins. Everyone,
Well,
please think of the cousins.
I want to know who called her down there. She was called down here.
David Webb, City of
Yeah, she said that, right?
Yeah.
I'm here also in support of 13F, looking at the intersection.
What
of
she said her address. What's her address? Whose district is it in?
She said
George
she's by
Russell's?
Rice Square
Pretty
School.
bad intersection. It's important to.
So
Oh, that's
George's-
George Russell.
We want to be in enthusiastic support of.
She is
10A
George her
and
landlord.
10B. I did not expect to get as many great recommendations from CMRPC as we have.
We'll have to go back and.
I want to know about her
came
record
up in the
label.
in the public comment meetings,
I'm trying to
and
drop fat beats,
I
bros.
especially would like 10K, just a report concerning the negotiation between Worcester and Spectrum. Maybe we can have some improvement instead of constantly getting.
I mean, also premeditated in that this is a
11A,
setup to get to
feasibility of,
scanners
local
in schools.
vendor market replacing Start on the Street with something done by the city. I
Huh.
don't really know. Like everyone else has said, leave it to the artists. 11D, request city manager, council, parks department, and 11E and 11F, all from
An
Council
artist
Bergman.
that
Thank
was
you.
part of
Yes,
artist
let's
festivals.
access the
Maybe not leave it
WRTA,
just
access
to the
Parks
artists.
Department,
Support them, but support the ones that are already going. Don't wait for them to end it and then be like, actually, somebody should start a festival in this city. That's a good idea.
Yeah, everybody should go to Vincent's. Emma's been running markets behind Vincent's.
It also.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know about that. I checked it out. I haven't been to Vincent's in a good while.
October.
Audio or video recording
Cool.
of an open session of
I
a
believe
public
I'll
meeting.
be there. Or
That
go
is,
to
of course,
Poets
the community
Cauldron
hall.
where there's a bunch
member
of
the public
vendors.
who wishes to report a meeting must first notify
Or
the
Burn
chair
Coat
and must
Center for
comply with
Arts and
reasonable
Wellness.
requirements regarding audio or video
I think of
equipment
others.
established by chair as to not interfere with the meeting.
Does anybody have the Zoom? Do we have the Zoom link?
I want to
Call
The
in?
Zoom link's here. It's in the agenda.
There's a
Here.
phone number underneath the.
regarding disruptive
At the
noise.
top of the agenda,
Even if this
you'll
is not
find
a
the
violation of the
Zoom link and the phone number.
part of what I want to say here is you're stopping people from bringing in tripods. You're stopping people from, you're making it more and more prohibitive for people to actually.
Also,
document
Camber,
and
I
record
cannot say
this
enough how
video.
much you should
And
have heckled Tim
for the
Murray in
same
person.
reason that the
Like,
busking fee was
Come on.
unconstitutional. This might be. If you don't make people
David
silence their
Webb looks
phones like
so
you did
normal
last
without
week,
his
you
signature
can't make me
glasses.
Yeah.
disruptive
Good point. His statement glasses. Every time I see Tim Murray, he tries to get me to go drink beers with him, which is pretty sick. And I should take him up on that.
You really should. You'd have a great time.
Yeah, he's genuinely
you know
like
what?
a nice
The only
guy.
problem,
person.
the only problem is though, if you drink too much, then he's going to drive you 150 miles an hour home. So,
Hi, can you hear me?
That's fine by me. I'll make sure we're both in our pajamas.
City of residence on the item you're calling on?
Yep. I am Yenny DeRoche. I am
Yenny.
Worcester in the Newton Square area. I've got a bunch of items, so I'm going to try and speed through this. Item 10T, we previously got a report on this April 5th, 2022. It was item 10.35A. It also came up under suspension 14D of 1. And just like the item last week that I emailed you all about, 11A, we need to get on top of these repeat items coming back up and back up. The city can't also give the cybersecurity measures. This came up previously, as I mentioned, and it is a security risk for us to say what the cybersecurity methods are, and the city already gave that answer as well, as giving us the document. Item 11B, if we want full body scanners, do you mean the metal
I
detectors?
absolutely know that they're
TSA
missing.
style. If it's the TSA style,
He-
everything that was said
He
before.
was calling me all the
about
time.
the invasion of privacy aspects of the new
Oh,
displays.
I
But
am
even if it
about to
is
check.
regular metal detectors, it is going to be very difficult to retrofit our entrances to make it so that even if there is a scanner there, that somebody in a wheelchair can move around said scanner if they cannot get out of their wheelchair and get scanned. Also, the entrances.
The other thing that's crazy is I
there's
don't
a
think
lot of
City Hall
them.
has a
There's
weapons
lot of
policy.
ways you can get in if you're using the elevator,
So, like, you'd be creating that
Um,
from scratch too, and that's.
and then,
I mean, if you're going to
yes,
do it, great, fine.
please,
Like,
for
have fun with that
11D,
commission. But like,
11C,
drawing lines
yes,
on what is going to be considered a
please,
prohibited
if
item, or like
also
letting George and
consider
Mo decide
making
what
a no
is
right on
contraband.
red rule in the city.
Like
It's
Tracy
helped a lot
Novick
of other
doesn't go to a school
cities.
committee meeting without carrying a pocket knife.
11F,
Like, is
I
that
request that it be added that
Right.
she going to the Who's
accessible
Gal for
ridership
her Swiss
methods,
Army knife?
also be added to the report. And then all of the internet spectrum items I support as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, the next speaker is Eric Stratton. I'm trying to meet the resident now.
Yeah.
Eric, can you hear us?
Eric, they're calling you.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Use the streamer.
Wonderful. I'm calling in regarding item 11B, the full body scanners. As others have said, I think this requires clarification and should not be voted on tonight, and is something that, or moved forward tonight, but something that should come back when clarification has been provided to the public. The TSA full body scanners back in 2011 were running almost $200,000 a pop. As others have mentioned, we have numerous entrances and exits to our building. And frankly, I think that installing these, or frankly, even metal detectors, is really simply pushing to dissuade public participation and public access to the building. At this time, I'm not aware of any credible threats that have come in. Generally, it's fairly low risk.
Can't find my
and
kitty.
there have not been a lot of
Sorry.
violent incidents at most city halls in the country. And I think this creates an unnecessary atmosphere of tension and distrust within the community and essentially sows fear. The cost and maintenance of this equipment is also going to be something we have to think of. And again, I don't think ARPA funds should be getting used for this, as they do not serve the broader Worcester community. Further, if you do have staff who are having to man these, who are they going to be? We already often hear of the stressed city budget, and then having to have Worcester Police Department there and having others in City Hall who are having to man this equipment, again, simply adds to costs with no real benefit being added. Again, I don't think that there's been a specific security concern, and I can understand if possibly we have not been notified of that. But I think that full body scanners are unnecessary, barring specific concerns. And again, reducing access to City Hall would already be problematic. So I would absolutely recommend that we oppose this item. We do not move it forward. And if we do look at moving it forward, it needs to be clarified first. Regarding the spectrum items, I agree, please. We need anything and everything else. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, the next
Anything
speaker-
and everything
I'm trying to meet the resident now.
All right, I'm going to whip up.
Hi, can you hear me?
Who we
Yeah,
got?
that was a fantastic
Yes,
comment,
hi.
Yanni. Eric as well.
My short list is only short because I didn't get a chance to look at all this items. So I'm
We don't
in
need to
favor
know your
of
life.
8B, 8D, 8E, 8H, 8M, 8F.
What are you talking about? Why are people doing this shit?
11B, that
Just say what you
was
want to say.
speaking about when it comes to full body scanner. I agree with Eric that It should not be voted on today until it is clarified. I have never been inside Polar Park, so I don't know what they have. I have been in an airport.
Absolutely nothing. Don't give them any ideas.
Boston, Logan. I
They
know
have
what
metal
they have.
detectors.
Do they?
Metal detector, great.
Oh, yeah, they
It
do.
is
You're right, they do.
something along the lines of the airport. Yes, who's going to fund that, maintain it, blah, blah, blah. Now, as for people saying there's been no credible threat, we have no idea if there has been a credible threat or a fake threat that comes through to City Hall. Let's
Oh,
not
we can't
forget,
confirm nor
as
deny.
someone or a couple of people have said, we live in a very heated society, and when people don't get their way, they act like immature babies. We have city councilors and the public who are put at risk every single day. At my job, I do not have metal detectors, and
Yeah,
we should
DCU
have metal
has-
detectors. And where I work, it is a
They're not
place
the
where
full
people
airport
get
ones,
hurt.
but they are
I do
different
not
than metal
sit with
detectors.
my back towards a door.
And it fucking sucks.
So to say that people we're on at risk and there's not that much violence happening in the city hall, blah blah blah. There's violence against other city members, excuse me, in other states. I've seen it on the news. It's not fake.
This is a lot like
So I'm all for safety.
thinking that
I
a
would
school
make me
resource
feel more
officer
safe
prevents a
if I
school
was to
shooting.
go there and someone
Right.
did
It's
put
like
me in
if
metal
it's
detector.
gonna happen,
When
it's
it
gonna
comes to
happen.
implants and bodies, yes, there are some
Yeah.
that are metal. That
Let's fix
a lot of your
the problem, not
implants
the
for, like, a
symptoms.
hip, an arm repair, stuff like that. Titanium doesn't affect it.
Yeah, RMK2
Now,
me.
if I'm wrong, then someone can tell me I'm wrong.
She
But I
deputized
know
herself
I have
anyway.
them in my feet, and I go through a metal detector
true.
just fine and full body scan. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have an enormous hog, so I don't
Mr.
mind
Mayor,
going
one
through the
more
full body
speaker.
scan.
Barry.
I want people to know.
That's sick, dude. That's so sick. Travis is gonna go through the full body scanner 4 times a day when they implement it.
Just to show
You like
off.
that? You like that?
Put that one on the fridge. No, I'm sitting there scrolling.
3 flights in one day. Travis, where are you going?
Keep forgetting stuff upstairs. Sorry,
Just look at
guys.
travel.
Okay. Thank you. We have petitions. I'm sorry. The first
How
item-
did he? What did he say? I didn't even catch it.
I don't know.
You have hearings and orders. 7A to 7C, motions to
It wasn't
open
Worcester
the
and
hearing.
People, was it?
Yeah, it
Roll
was.
call.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council Calorio?
Yes.
Council Agia?
Yes.
Council King?
Yes.
Council Mero-Carlson? Yes. Council Nguyen?
Yes.
Council Hayda?
Be back in 1 minute,
Council
guys.
Solo?
Yes.
Council Russell?
Yes.
Council Toomey? Council Toomey?
Yes.
Mayor Petty?
Yes. Anybody opposed to any of these items on the council?
She had a
See that?
party.
Okay, nobody opposed.
So whoever's on
Close the hearing and to adopt.
must be Kate.
Roll call.
Council Bergman?
That's Toomey.
Council Calorio?
Yeah,
Yes.
her camera kicked on.
Council King?
You could see it on the
Council
George
Mero-Carlson?
Seption screen.
Council Nguyen?
Yes.
Council Hayda?
Yes.
Council Pasillo?
Yes.
Council Russell?
Yes.
Council Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes. We're on the 8A reconsideration. In accordance to Rule 30, the rules of the City Council, Council Morris A. Bergman requests reconsideration.
Pretty good,
of the
Nico,
vote
for
of the
catching
council
that
taken
one.
On September 17, 2024. In regard to the following items, Chairman's order from the Committee on Municipal and Legislative Operations that the rules of the Council of the City of Worcester be and hereby amended to amend Rule 21 to read as follows. Rule 21, no speaking for more than 5 minutes after being recognized by the chair to reconsider to speak for no more than 5 minutes at a time, no more than 10 minutes total on any item, any agenda item, or a group of calendar items taken collectively or at the City Council or Standing Committee on Finance and Meetings. The chair may grant additional time to council if comments made by the city manager or other individuals in response to the questions have taken an unusual amount of time. The chair shall make note of the time each member is recognized. Whenever any member substantially exceeds 5 minutes during their first time speaking on an item, the chair may rule that the member is being allocated his or her second 5 minutes. The member should be deemed to have waived his or her right to speak twice on an item. So first vote is a member to reconsider, which is non-debatable, which is 8 votes. Roll call.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council Calorio?
Yes.
Council Agia?
No.
Council King?
No.
Council Mero-Carlson?
Yes.
Council Nguyen?
No.
Council Hayda?
I'm sorry. Can I speak to this?
No, we're going to speak to, you can speak to the item later on. Now, this is just taking it off the table. So yes, vote would be to take it off the table.
All right.
Not to take it
Just
off.
had to get my baked potato and Budweiser because culturally I am a Trump supporter.
Nice.
Did you bring the potatoes back from Ireland or?
Yeah. They didn't have a lot of them there.
Yeah, that's the whole problem.
Yes.
No.
Dr. Russell? Yes. Dr. Toomey?
That's why we're all here.
And now they have less.
Mayor Petty?
That's why we're all here.
Mayor, you
Fucking
have 8
English.
votes. It's 8-3. So you need 2/3 votes. These passes.
Councilor Bergman.
So if I may, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe after we took the vote last week, I was pressed to the fact that there was some confusion with some of what was said as far as the way the item was worded out of committee and also what the intent was. And the reason why I asked for reconsideration, which first time since I've been a city council, I've asked for reconsideration on anything, and I think it's relatively rare in general. But I asked for reconsideration because I believe we can come to an agreement on this with a supermajority vote, which would be respectful of the fact that people do need to have their opportunity to speak.
What even is the rule change on this? I don't understand
The
it.
Finance Committee really is not a true committee in the sense of the committees that are set up in our charter.
Essentially-
The Finance Committee is all of us. And all of us have an opportunity to speak according to the
I was
rules.
very confused by it last week. What had actually changed.
Because we call it a finance.
It sounds exactly like what already is the policy.
That gives us any
Like,
limitations.
what's the
Right.
difference?
It would be improbable or impossible to sit through a meeting if each one of us had an open-ended opportunity. And
Oh,
Basically,
an hour.
Oh, it's only related to budget? Okay, I get
And it was
now.
saying like basically you
Counselors, my
if you
colleagues
take your
will have
second
to
5, then you can't speak. You can't speak for a second time.
Truth of the matter is the
Like you
public
get
doesn't have a
2
chance to
5-minute
in any of the finance
sections,
meetings. They only have a chance to weigh in
and
on
you can
the
use them
city
together
council
or
meeting
separately.
after all
But
the
you
finance
once you use it, you
meetings are
can't go
done,
back and
so
speak
that,
again.
That becomes a regular meeting which votes on the budget. So we're not depriving the public.
So what you're saying is you either
Last week, we're not
use it or you lose it.
some of
I
our
think I could be
thoughtful
completely
comment
wrong.
because they
That was
can't
just my read on
Finance Committee stops meeting. So I'm asking my
on
colleagues.
it. But yes, I
those
do
that
want to reiterate
seem
that
to
use it
want
or
to
lose it,
support
pal.
The what this really stands for, which is to have some limitation on here. To make a suggestion, the way it stands now, it would be 10 minutes, which is what we always have at a regular council meeting. Somebody wants to suggest some longer length of time, I can live with that. I think I was charged as chair of the Municipal Operations Subcommittee with trying to do better with our rules as far as making the meetings more efficient. And while I think that everybody deserves the right to have their time as a colleague with whatever questions they want to ask of whatever participants are appearing before us, I also think that the 5 and 10 minute rule works well because the chair.
This would be really significant if the city council ever altered the budget even once. This would be really important.
Time length
However,
tonight, it's not.
they don't do that.
Which is what was really weird about this last week, Bill, is this came up at the same time George is asking for line item oversight and veto power of the budget. So they now want to go be able to go line by line throughout the entire budget,
Quite sure what I was
but
getting
not
at.
be allowed to have any time to discuss why they're going line by line throughout the budget.
They think would be fair, and we can balance having no
Great.
time limit with some time limit. I think we can come up with a compromise tonight that we can all live with.
We should probably just get rid of the budget and switch over to like a
Councilor
petty
Russell,
cash
followed by
system.
Councilor Hadjia.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to.
A series of slush funds.
To amend this from 5 minutes each time and 10 minutes total to 10 minutes each time and 20 minutes total, knowing that it can be suspended, not only by the chair, but I think by a majority of the council.
Hi, Molly.
Councilor Hadjia, followed by Councilor Hadjia.
I'm seriously really confused by why we're even having a discussion on this. Budget meetings are the only time that our
Well,
public.
those earrings
has
are
an
City Council
opportunity
fit.
to hear
Oh,
questions, things that
superb.
come through, and to be frank, the briefings that we have with the city manager, those aren't open to the public.
I'm doom
It
scrolling
is a
Twitter
very
looking for
confusing
confirmation.
Subject, even for city councilors who've been on this council for a
Yeah, I
long
mean,
time.
it takes a while.
I personally, in the
That's
year
not
and a half
instant.
that I've been here, I've heard very thoughtful questions.
No, and I
this
keep
is the
thinking
only
that
chance
there's going to
we
be a
have
last
to
minute
actually have
stay.
these discussions
But
in public. So
it doesn't seem like it.
I'm literally
So we'll
super
just
confused as to
spend the
why
rest
we
of our
want
lives
to
praying for a
deprive the
painful
public
death
from
for
having
the
the
governor of
chance to
Missouri.
hear questions that sometimes there might be topics of conversation that might take longer time.
I hope
so
there's perpetually a
I'm
nail
very
behind
confused
his
as to why
car,
we're having this
and he has a
discussion and
flat
wasting this
tire
council's time
every
with
time
this.
he walks out to
Hope
his car.
there's perpetually a landmine behind his car.
You keep escalating.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I guess I stand here just, again, trying to get a better understanding, like Councilor Hadji said, and then understanding with Councilor Bergman. You know, I think we just need to find some type of compromise. It does take a lot of time, but I'm a firm believer of, you know, diving in deep into the data and understanding. You know,
I'd love to have an extremely long conversation about how we shouldn't have long conversations.
So I think it's important to look into the work that we do and give everybody an opportunity to speak. But at the same time, it's not about, you know, stopping one, being able to talk versus the other. So, you know, Councilor Russell said 10 and 10, or just 20 in total, or what was that? I'm sorry.
You may ask for clarification.
10 minutes and 20 total. 10
Yeah.
minutes at a time, 20.
10 the first time to speak and 10 the second time and 20 minutes total.
Correct. So 10 and 10. All right. So something similar to that. But if I'm right, the residents aren't here. They come in at the end where they have that opportunity. And then again, us as councilors, we have opportunity again to speak again. Again, just to find a compromise where I think it allows us to dive in deeper and figure out, you know, what part of the budget or what we're talking about.
Is there public comment during budget hearings? I don't think there
Be
is.
able to address it versus being able to go, you know, back and forth for quite some time.
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Thank you. Okay. So Council Russell's motion is to.
Yanni, do you think a single person on the city council could even like approach wrapping their head around EVE Online? Do you think a single person in this city council could get earn a new ship in EVE Online or join a guild? I don't think a single person could even get the game started.
And no more than 20 minutes in total.
Doubled what's writing.
What's that?
Double of what's in writing.
Double what's on here. So for the finance committee. So we'd have to amend that as it'd be an amendment to this. So they have two sections of this. One would be the same with.
Imagine if Donna Calorio was like a prolific Second Life player. Like that's how she spends all of her time, like to this day. Is she just plays Second
The
Life.
city council will still be 5 minutes and 10 minutes.
That is a good point.
Finance
Too,
committee will
absolutely.
be 10 minutes.
You're absolutely
with the
right.
20 minutes.
EVE Online is not only full of jerks; it is full of villains, absolute psychopathic villains.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I got to be honest with you.
I've never played that game.
Dude. Don't even play it. Just fucking read about it. It's incredible. The people pull off decades long, like
make a couple
subterfuge,
comments,
like
and I spoke on
heists,
this
like they
recently
like
from
turn on each other, and they use real money in the game, so it's thousands and thousands of dollars worth of damage that they cause to each other. It's the best.
It's real money.
You do, yeah. There's real money. There's real transactional money in the game. There's a marketplace where you can sell items, ships, whatever, for real money. So everything actually has a cash value.
I'll reiterate, Mr. Chairman.
Tell you what, when I was in 8th grade, I was a fucking scumbag in the RuneScape marketplace.
It does in fact depress.
I was a scumbag, dude. I'd go to the free servers and I'd buy Nern roots. I'd go to the paid servers and I'd buy Nern roots, and then I'd go back into the free servers where you can't get those. And I'd sell them for 3, 4.
For the public that's listening,
I understood at an early age what the classic Marxist principle of monopoly rents is all about. Dude. I was exploiting that shit.
One of the most important.
I had a Santa hat
as councilors between council.
You know how much that cost me? Like $5 million.
Manager and department heads.
And I've been broke in real life ever since. So.
Doing the work. I don't care.
I love to think that your biggest detractors with your writing are just people that you fucked over in
taxing folks.
RuneScape at middle school.
Taxed to the max by some of my colleagues, but you
dude, I was the wolf of
talk about it.
What's he?
Talk about it, Mr. Chairman.
What is he?
We said it's impossible for councilors to have their say. But we've had, I mean, this is my 9th year, and we've had budget discussions every single year in the same way.
Oh, you're getting fact checked.
And this
here, Bill.
process
Is
is
this,
flawed.
you're getting.
There's not a counselor, and I will say this on the record. There's not a counselor.
Oh,
here
yeah,
that I
Limpworth.
haven't had
That's
a
right.
conversation with.
Sorry, I didn't have
about
the name of my
inefficiencies and
fantasy
shortcomings of the
plants
budget
correct to the
process.
right.
That's why, listen, that's why
right
we have the
universe.
check. That's why we have the check. Keep us
Not
honest.
one sitting here. Not one.
What's your
We talked
Antifa?
last
What's the
week
name of the
about
marketplace called? Where
expanding
everyone would go to some
our
stuff.
roles as counselors as it relates to budget.
I can't remember.
Talk about it.
Oh, King's getting animated right now.
Yeah, dude.
He's getting
Yeah.
feisty.
Somebody trying to limit
public
his
wants
mic
to
time? Are
know.
you fucking kidding me? He just figured out he could
And
pick
we
this
have a
damn thing up.
responsibility.
The grand exchange,
exactly
right?
that,
If I
Mr.
gave
Chairman.
a single shit about what he was talking
It's
about right
absurd
now,
that
I
this
might
is
pay
before
attention.
us again, Mr. Chairman.
But instead,
It makes folks think that we're going
the
to
grand exchange, dude, that's bringing me back. I was the wolf of the grand
behind
exchange.
closed doors, cover things up.
Absolute dog.
Lack of transparency. Public participation is not simply speaking.
It's right here.
Yeah, this right here.
It's
This
not.
This right here. This is
Chair
Limpworth.
of our city council, Mayor Petty, who's chaired this longer than anybody else. We have ways to keep time. And when we talk about matters as intricate as dealing with our city, when you're talking about all the things we got to talk about with DPW, for example.
I've legitimately never owned a
have to
computer that could
speak on
run
it because
any
we
game
have a
that I actually want to
responsibility
play.
to our
So my
constituents,
PC
Mr. Chairman.
gaming has
And
been
let's be real.
incredibly
It's about
limited.
certain individuals on this council, me being one of them. And if folks get up.
Well,
and
was your
say,
Antifa?
"Well,
I also
I'm
bought my
not
first
gonna
G up on
speak much,"
RuneScape.
That's fine. But if we have a reason to do our due diligence, Mr. Chairman.
I got my wood
we
cutting
should
up to 92.
Absolutely do
I
that.
could cut magic
Doing
trees.
the work of the people is something that I enjoy as an elected
Wow.
official.
Antifa.
And I will not support this, Mr. Chairman. I will
Those people
stand
felt
with the
how
motions of
Nico
file
feels
this
about you
nonsense.
now.
And I hope it doesn't
All
come
right.
before us
What's your
again for
Antifa?
the
Straight to
seventh
jail.
time.
Straight to real
As a
life
way-
jail for
That's
that.
exaggeration, Mr. Chairman. It's exaggeration for the 100.
I was a dirty dog, but I wouldn't go that far.
You actually delivered the product, though.
I delivered the product.
You were just a
Yeah.
capitalist. Antifa is a
We do
thief.
not want to discuss matters with transparency as it relates to money and budget.
And I know
Thank you.
all you liberals on here are going to want to say, what's the difference? But there is a difference.
Wow.
We have a
An
motion to
ovation.
file, which takes precedent. So a yes vote would.
Exploitation.
Council Pasil?
I'm sorry, thank you, Mr. Chair.
That
Can
was
I
my
ask a
game.
quick question.
Sure.
Not
It
deceit.
would be 10 minutes for each item that we discuss in the budget, not 10 or 20 minutes total. Through you to the clerk.
Correct.
Through the chair to the council, my understanding is each item, so if you have, for example, the CFO or the administration, that part of the department, then you have the clerk, you have elections, you have the economic development, every single one in the budget is a line item, so I'm assuming.
It's every department.
when it's Orders, it's in the same.
Jenny, come on.
Yeah. So we have 10 minutes in each department.
You have 10 minutes to talk about the
20
police.
minutes in total. You all set, Council Wahid?
Yes, so again, to get clarification, so we're saying actually a total of 20 minutes then, right? You have 10.
Correct.
You sit down or whatever it may be, or you're into your next 20 per line item, right? Per
Correct.
item that we're talking, or we're discussing.
So
Is that correct?
So, right, so you have someone to have for example, you have the city council budget. So you can speak 20 minutes up to 20 minutes on the city council budget.
Each of us.
Each
Then
of
if
us
you have
with each item.
DPW, so you have DPW budget, you speak 20 minutes on the DPW budget.
Okay. And I want to make it clear that I do not deny the work that you do, Councilor King, and I really do appreciate it, as you know. And this isn't to keep certain individuals quiet. I think now that we're looking at it being 20 minutes per item, and then again, when we bring the public back in, there's an opportunity to speak again as a councilor. So I just want to get that clarification. Thank you.
Okay, Councilor Bergman?
Mr. Chairman, I think you answered the question, but I also was hoping you explain it a little bit more, and I think you did, but just to be clear, my understanding of the amendment, which I do support.
All
is
right,
that each
Bill, another
department
sale.
Comes before us on a
Epic
given
Stratton.
night. We have more than one department generally.
Choo
We have that 10 plus 10
Thank you.
for each department, not for the whole night. that would be a whole different story.
No, it's each department.
Each department, and you have the ability to suspend the rules anytime anybody wants to acquire people.
All right, this whole thing doesn't matter. Who gives a shit about it? Does anybody
Yeah,
want to
first
see me
motion is to,
taste test the new Oreo Coca-Cola Zero?
Yeah.
First motion is motion
Live
to
taste
file.
test.
So yes vote will be the file and no vote.
Oreo
Hold
Coke
on,
Zero.
let's wait for the vote. I do need to see the vote.
Council
Yeah.
Bergman?
No.
Council Calorio?
No.
Council Agia?
Yes.
Council King?
Yes.
Council Mero-Carlson? Council Nguyen?
Yes.
Council Ojeda?
No.
Council Basillo?
No.
Council Russell?
No.
Council Toomey?
No.
Same vote.
Mayor Petty?
No.
Mr. Mayor, that fails.
So now we have as amended, as we went over.
Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna hold this. Thank you.
Hold it under privilege.
I think, Mr. Chairman, through you to the solicitor, I think this was held twice. I don't know if an amendment qualifies at this point, Mr. Solicitor.
I'm not sure of the answer.
Nico, it's your job to know.
Amended it, so
He's leaving. He just walks out of the building.
Mrs. Solicitor.
He's like, this seat's fine.
So through the chair,
I
to
didn't
the
think it was.
to the council, so it was held twice. And
All
I
right,
think
never mind.
That was my
Let's see the
understanding.
Coke
Check real quick
taste
from the
taste
last
testing. This
agenda.
sucks.
Now we have a new item. We're voting on an amendment.
I didn't get the Coke flavored Oreos because they only sell them in the whole full bag, and that seemed like too much of a commitment. This is a mini can. And we're gonna try it right now.
9A to 9D, we're going to refer to the Department of Public Works.
Sorry for
9B
partying.
to 9J, we're going to refer to the Public Works. 9K.
You look like Andre the Giant, dude.
Traffic and parking.
Anybody want a peanut?
9C, the Memorial Park and Recreation. 9U and 9V, set a hearing for October 1st, 2024 at 6:30.
Does it taste like Oreo? I saw that in the store and I couldn't buy it. I couldn't bring myself to buy it.
Take those collectively on a roll
It a
call.
little bit tastes like Oreos, and you know what?
Yes. Council Calorio?
It's good.
Yes. Council Agia?
Honestly,
Council King?
It mostly tastes like Coke
Mero-Carlson?
Zero, which is good. Coke Zero is
Council
good.
Ojeda?
Yeah.
Council Basillo?
Yes.
Council Russell?
And
Council Toomey?
yeah, there's a hint of
Yes.
Oreo in
Mayor
there,
Petty?
not too much.
We have
That's great.
Michael Grandon requests the council, request the manager, request the solicitor provide a council report concerning the legality of billing.
Yeah, there's some Oreo in there. It's really weird.
Monetary fee of $1,000 per hour for the use of the
A
city's
light
solution
Oreo,
by
not an
the
overwhelming.
resources and services.
A light, yes.
Manager?
An overwhelming Oreo would
Roll
be a little bit too much for me, I think.
Yes.
But a light Oreo I can get behind.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council
It's good.
Calorio?
Yes.
Like,
Council
you know what my favorite part of an Oreo cookie
Carlson?
blizzard is?
Grandon.
It's the
Yeah.
part where it's just
Council
like
Ojeda?
mostly vanilla soft serve,
Council Russell?
but
Council Toomey?
like the cookie has separated from it, but you have like that one rich vein of cookie, but the rest is surrounded by nice, delicious soft serve vanilla.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was my favorite part of a Carvel ice cream cake was the cookie center.
Oh yeah.
I tried to sweet talk one of my friends who worked at a Carvel to give me like a 6-layer cake, but she wouldn't do it because I wanted all those cookies.
And not even with your massive dong could you get that through.
My holiday did not pay through.
Roll call.
Council Bergman? Council Calorio?
Yes.
Jokes I knew
Council
it's
Agia?
actually a pig, but I
Council
keep
King?
my pocket.
Council Mero-Carlson? Council Nguyen?
Yes.
Bill can pull off a pretty sweet Tom Carvel with his current
Russell?
vocal condition.
Yeah. Yeah, I could.
And Mayor Petty?
I could. I really could.
Mayor, would you
I
like to
really
answer
could.
this one? So it's-
Yes.
Okay.
Reconsideration.
When Nico asks you if you want to do reconsideration,
Bergman?
No.
means do
Council
fucking
Calorio?
reconsideration.
Council Agia?
No.
Council King?
Wait,
No.
what on this
Council
agenda?
Mero-Carlson?
Yeah, what on this
Council
agenda
Nguyen?
is about the 25? I
Council
thought
Ojeda?
that was last week.
Council Basillo?
No.
Council Russell?
No.
Council Toomey?
No.
Is there another item about it?
Isn't it just like
Okay.
whatever? I really struggle to care right now.
Epic, it was the basic cake. Neither of
Oh, publishing the ordinance, that's whatever. That's routine. That's routine.
Ooh, the aftertaste is even more Oreo-y. It kind
Well,
of it lingers, the Oreo-ness.
So it's Coke forward, but with a long Oreo trail.
Yes, yes, exactly. The legs,
That's how.
the legs are Oreo.
Right.
The original item.
I'm tasting
So
some
if it's
notes of
amended, you can't
Can't be
Oreo.
held under privilege.
Okay.
Cocoa powder.
It really is nice. I gotta say.
I just have a
I'm glad I bought
clarifying
6 of
question
these
because
tiny
I
things.
believe this is a new order. It's an order to reconsider. It's a request for reconsideration, which can be held.
The order to
I wonder if
reconsider
this
was
is
acted
because
upon.
giving out
That was
cans of
just a
soda is
back on the
becoming more and more common for Halloween.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I
Can
can
Is it really?
be tabled under the
I
normal
see it on
procedure, just give
TikTok
public
where people are
notice.
giving out soda because it's a little bit more, there are less allergens in a can of soda.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, so let's go back
Hey, to each their own.
Yeah, I mean, aspartame is a big allergen. Everyone's allergic to it.
I mean, I'm not arguing about the allergy part. It's just the idea of throwing cans of Coke at kids just seems weird.
I would, when I was 11 years old, up on Airport Hill, wandering the dirt roads up there, if somebody gave me a can of Coke, my friends would absolutely have thrown them through someone's car window.
Yeah, totally. Or through the window of the person who gave it to you.
I would have just drank it.
Would have fucking hucked it at somebody.
Participation. And so I would ask that we lay this on the table.
The mouthfeel is great. The mouth, yeah.
Make a motion for written clarification on this.
Yeah, Jess,
That is
thank you.
true.
I just read that.
It's amazing.
There are some.
My birthday's coming up. It seems like I'm treating myself. I don't even like football, but I like crunchies.
Councilor Russell.
I'm lost.
So council,
I'll be the first to admit it. I'm lost. Could the
Flip that.
Mr.
come
Solicitor?
back to the table?
Yep.
Did he say that it can be held or it cannot be held?
It cannot be held under privilege
Why? If it's a new item, is an amendment?
because of
What
the
is a
statute.
tick
Because
track?
the rule reads that basically is that if it's been held twice, even if you have amendments to it, it can't be held under privilege again.
Which one are they talking about now?
They're
I'm
still
really
talking about the holding under privilege.
of the one from before.
Yeah.
About how long they
What
can
he referred
speak.
to is if you had held the
I believe so.
original order from
Jesus.
Council Bergman originally before you took the vote on.
All right, I'm on
it was no
Smoko.
procedural. But
You know, for all of his
because the vote on
faults,
his
Joe's
body
really good with
accepted
rules.
His reconsideration, the item was reconsidered and the item was open on.
He's
on
like
the
really,
floor.
he has them
You
like
have
all
discussion.
memorized.
You cannot
Yeah,
hold
it's fine. He's
this
been
item.
He'd be
doing
a
it a
great
while.
dungeon master.
Lay
You
it on
guys
the
should bring
table,
him in
it's
to
an
play an online game.
Only if he brings the big fucking chair.
Motion is the way on the, is to,
It's the only
Actually,
way he's allowed.
To see if he could get one in the chamber.
Procedurally, clerk.
They should let us play
clarifies
D&D in the
that
chamber.
precedent
it
for the
takes
motion to
precedent.
amend.
I'm gonna petition. That's gonna be my next grant petition for the Worcester Arts Council.
That would actually be a
Council
great
Bergman?
petition
No.
just to the
Council
council
Colorio?
No.
to
Council
open up the
Adjia?
chamber once a month
Council
on a
King?
Saturday
Yes.
for
Council
a
Mero-Carlson?
citywide
Council Nguyen?
Yes.
D&D
Yeah.
Council
party.
Hida?
No.
I
Council
think
Patillo?
it's yes,
And
100%.
the
Russell?
mayor has to
No.
come in to be dungeon
Council
master.
No.
Yeah, we just
Mayor
turn the
Petty.
center table
So,
sideways
the
and
motion
and
now
butt it
is
up
amended?
against the
Yeah.
mayor's desk.
We'll
DM
provide a
sits up
cloak.
there. Yeah,
Mr. Mayor, just a
You
clarification.
can leave
Could we
Nico
split
because
into two
Nico
separate
settles all
items?
rule issues.
we need a rules lawyer. You'd absolutely need a
Council
rules
remains
lawyer in a
5
game
and
like
10,
that.
And the finance committee will be 10 and 20.
Okay. Council Bergman?
Yes.
Council
If you
Colorio?
don't,
Yes.
if you don't
Council
install,
Adjia?
if they don't install body scanners,
Council
everyone has
King?
to roll death saves.
No.
Council Mero-Carlson? Council Nguyen?
No.
Council Hida?
Yes.
Council Pasillo?
Yes.
Council Russell?
Yes.
Council Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes. Okay.
Oh, hell yeah, Gio. I gotta get my hands on some of those.
Okay, reconsideration?
We had one house
Council
in
Bergman?
our area that
Council Colorio?
handed those
No.
out.
Council Adjia?
No.
We threw cans of
Council
Coke
King?
through their
No.
fucking door.
Council Mero-Carlson? Council
As
Nguyen?
you do.
No.
Council Hida?
I worked at an amusement park
Pasillo?
one summer,
Council
and
Russell?
there was a lady
No.
that walked
Council
around trying
Toomey?
to give people tickets to ride, and there were
And
tickets
Mayor
to
Petty?
heaven.
No.
And we're like, sorry, we can't accept this. Do you actually have a ride ticket?
We're gonna leave off.
Would it be possible to start
Yeah,
submitting
maybe we could just
petitions
do all the traffic and
that are
traffic
written in a
items.
way where like just having the
Somebody has
council
any
read,
questions
having the
on
mayor
traffic,
read them
Mr.
out
Raleigh's
to
here.
be like he was
You don't
actually
mind?
playing the role of dungeon master? Or just like start submitting
Because we don't have
a script
13
for.
You have an ordinance.
We edit it together.
We take 13 years.
It would
Yeah,
take us
over
years
time.
to
It could
tell a
take
5-minute
years, but-
story. Yeah.
Continue. Yes, please.
I love this idea.
Okay, so the items would be, we take these collectively. 13.
It's fun to hold this can too.
A.
my Andre the Giant grip.
Through 13I, 13J, to 13W.
I used to drink 60 beers in a night.
So take those collectively, minus 13U.
I could drink 60 of these.
Council Bergman?
Easy.
Yes.
Council Calorio?
Yes.
Council GA?
Yes.
Council King?
Yes.
Get body slammed by
Council Nguyen?
Yes.
Council Hayda?
Thanks, Gio.
Council
I'll
Pasillo?
grab
Yes.
that.
not Hulk Hogan.
Yes. Council Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes.
I'll take a body slam from Big John Studd, not from Hulk Hogan.
13U is reported traffic and parking upon the petition of Matthew Morse, exiting Chandler Street Magnet School, be made a right turn only between 7 and 6 for this vehicle.
Do it. Fucking do it. I'll drink 125 of these.
And the recommendation at that time.
And I'm always sitting, so
Council
it'll be easy.
Yes.
You
Yes,
just don't
I'm gonna
move
make a
for 3
motion to
days.
approve this.
Yeah.
It's one
13U,
sitting.
an ordinance amending section 74 of the Charter 13.
Oh, tonight at midnight,
revised
everybody, the Vince
ordinance
McMahon documentary comes out on
2018
Netflix.
Exiting 525 Chandler
Even if you
Street,
don't care about wrestling, you
right
should be
turn
watching this
only
thing.
between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. school days. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Worcester as follows.
Yeah,
Section
Hogan was a decent worker. I just wouldn't.
Chapter
I wouldn't want to put him
13 of the
over.
revised
Fuck him.
ordinance of
I'm not doing
2008
business with
and is
Hogan.
Hereby amended by
Not going to work for
inserting
me, brother.
in Schedule 17.
Did anybody else
therefore,
just
after
watch
the
Mo
provisions
sneeze like
for
a psycho?
Northbound
No, I was
drivers
looking at,
passing to the right at the
He pulled his
Triangle
jacket
Island
up and
on
like
Southbridge
snidely
Street at
whiplash
Madison Street,
sneezed
right
into
turn
his
only.
coat, saving it for
And the
later.
following two
Yeah,
provisions,
it goes into his
southwest
sneeze pocket.
bound
Look at his
drivers
face. He's
exiting
definitely sick.
525 Chandler
He's spreading
Street,
shit all over that room.
Chandler Magnet School at Chandler.
Should have body scanned
Street,
him out.
Right turn only, 7 a.m.
Yeah,
to
hell yeah.
6
Bill's watching.
6 p.m. school days. Eastbound drivers exiting
I
525
think I
Chandler
have
Street, Chandler
confirmation,
Magnet
but
School
Marcellus
at Main
Williams
Street,
was
right turn only,
unfortunately
7 a.m. to
executed tonight.
6 p.m. school
I
days.
hope.
Thank you.
What's his name? Mark Parsons,
Wait a second.
Joe,
You all set?
no.
Council Corey?
the governor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Council Hadia?
So 13U, that's
Mike
in
Parsons.
District 5, and
I hope he
apologize
dies
if I
tonight.
didn't,
That's
follow
all
the
I have to
traffic
say.
committee, but if I
I
understand
hope
this
so
correctly, Chair,
strenuously
this would mean that
that he has a very,
for
very, very
folks
painful
coming
death
out of
as
the
soon as
school
possible.
can only
Fuck
take
him.
a right-hand turn, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Correct.
Fuck the Supreme Court.
I
This is
would
Trump's
like to
fault.
hold this if possible. I haven't had a chance to talk
Trump
to
set
the
that
school.
Supreme Court up.
I certainly know
It's
that
a lot of
the
people's
traffic
fault.
in that
Yep.
area
Life
is
of a man.
quite congested, and I
Not
don't
just
know
him.
if
It's a lot of
someone
people's
would
fault, but
yeah, if
certainly
possible.
he can
No, you can hold
take
on.
his share.
Council King?
Can you just read the amended item? I think that was amended, so I need to know what it says.
Wait, so they're going to add 2 new provisions to the ordinance.
I think that's a good compromise, Neil.
Okay, southbound drivers exiting 525
Sorry?
Chandler.
I didn't hear what you, the first sentence of the.
So these are going to be added to the ordinance of section 74, chapter 13. So the following 2 provisions, southwestbound drivers exiting 525 Chandler Street, which is the school.
Mhm.
At Chandler Street, right turn only between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. on school days. And eastbound drivers exiting 525 Chandler Street, which is the Magna School again, at May Street, right turn only from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. on school days.
Mr. Chairman, so I just need some clarity. So it's coming out of May Street.
I actually I've actually just kind of stopped using right on reds whenever I can avoid it, unless people get real pissed and start beeping at me a lot.
Mr. Chairman, yeah.
I just
so,
wait because it's not worth it. People drive like psychos.
There's way too many
my
hangups with
daughter
pedestrians
attends
too.
Chandler
Yes.
Magnet.
Yeah.
We have a lot of right on reds that are blind
And
into
daily trip
crosswalks.
there. We walk across Chandler Street, right across the crosswalk where it is a little bit.
Also,
dangerous.
this is like this ordinance is tickling
And there's
something funny in my brain because I'm wicked suspicious of people who make
In
left-hand
committee,
turns.
We had a lengthy discussion about this.
Like if it's
I
like 2 o'clock in the
recommended to
morning and like there's
chair
nobody
at the
around, then
time,
yeah, do a fucking U-turn. Like
that
just do
perhaps it
donuts. I
should
don't
be
care. But like
held in
just the
committee,
concept of
for
left-hand
further
turns, like
discussion.
most of the
school
city is
came,
just mapped out in my
and
head
what I
as just
represented was
right-hand
as
turns.
follows.
Why do I want to fuck up
Making
somebody
a
else's
right
day
turn
blocking
onto
2 lanes of
Chandler
traffic?
out of
Like I'm
Chandler
gonna
Magnet,
make right-hand turns and
leads all of the
Right.
traffic.
that's where I'm
that
gonna go.
comes
And I'm probably
into
gonna get
that
there faster.
driveway
But
right through a crosswalk. The majority of cars that come out do take a left
Agreed.
rather than a right.
Cryptid,
There's no
I completely
crosswalk.
agree.
In that discussion, Mr. Chairman,
There's no
what was
there's no
stated by
excuse.
Commissioner Raleigh was that that actual crosswalk is in the wrong location. I recommended to the chair that perhaps we do an order or a motion to move and create a new sidewalk, crosswalk.
It
where
was already mentioned. I
recommended by
apologize.
Mr.
I really
Rowley,
dig the sport coat and t-shirt.
Which was midway between.
It's a good
the
look. Yeah.
entrance and
Somebody called
exit
out the
of
Sunny Crockett
driveway, Mr.
earlier.
Chairman.
All right. My apologies.
No, it's great.
Additionally,
City Council
when
fit big
cars
time.
come in the morning, Mr.
I
Chairman,
disagree. I
the
feel like this
backup
is a last
goes
minute.
to Main
This is
Street.
me trying to look like I'm professional, but
And
I just came
those
from
folks
the
that drive the
gym.
majority
I would have
take
used a
left,
solid
take
color
right.
blazer.
What you'll see
I
is
think
what
the
you see to a
pattern
small degree.
hurts
Now
it a
we
little
have
bit,
this
but
discussion in committee, which is illegal U-turns, Mr.
but
Chairman.
I actually do like it.
And that happens regularly. It would have been best to keep this in committee. This additional aspect of the no left turn on to May was not discussed in public hearing in committee. I would recommend that this go back to committee. If it's
Yeah,
even if
same
it's held when
cryptid.
we come
I'm
back next week,
very
I would
suspicious of
recommend it going
ties.
back to committee, Mr. Chairman. And when these things were brought up with, I think Sergeant Foley and the commissioner, they give full validity to the concerns. It does not make sense to turn the majority, all of the traffic coming out into a crosswalk. That's misplaced. Doesn't make sense. And I know that firsthand. The principal that's there, it's their second year. Mr. Morris is his first time getting involved with this particular matter. And again, unintentional consequences. You'll have further backup down past May Street. And if you're making those cars take a right, you're making them go through 2 crosswalks. I don't know how they're going to get back that way because that's where the majority of them go. It's just downtown to work or wherever they got to go. This is not thought out. And again, once the counselor meets with that school, and I will meet with that school also, I recommend this go back to committee for a full hearing. I'm not quite sure what this maneuvering is about.
Mr. Chair, I withdraw my motion to hold it under privilege. I would like to support it going back to committee, and I'm happy to also meet along with Councilor King with the principal of the school.
She withdrew. So the motion precedent is go back to committee. Okay, so the motion that takes
Yeah,
precedent.
again, I
is,
think I think
send it
for
back
this
to
look
committee.
to really hit, then a color block as opposed to a pattern,
That's fine. Okay,
and
roll call.
ideally something that
Mr. Mayor,
is
to
brighter
recommend
than the
Councilor Bergman?
t-shirt if he's going to wear a neutral tone
Yes.
t-shirt. But
Councilor
what do I
Caloia?
know?
Yes.
Councilor Haji?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Mero-Carlson? Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Ojeda? Has recused himself. Councilor Pasillo?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
That's just how she looks.
Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes.
I'm a very fashionable
Thank you
person.
for being here
A
tonight.
lot of people don't know that about me because I'm usually
Okay,
wearing
roll back
wrestling
for
shorts
Hardage,
and
requesting
wrestling
for the
shirts.
feasibility of revitalizing an annual local art and vendor market, the city to celebrate the recognize the town of the community. Okay. Christian.
Now, is he wearing suit pants or chinos? Is he wearing
Mayor
jeans?
Petty.
Because this all
Thank
plays
you,
into it too.
Counselor, and the reason for this was to, how do you keep some of the events going, similar to what happened earlier this week, last weekend, or 2 weekends ago with Star on the Street. And I do agree with some of the people who spoke tonight that we should leave it up to the arts community, which also includes the Art Cultural Commission, and speaking with the leadership of several leaders of the
Behold!
Star on the Street. And I think he made a good suggestion that we should have a three-man, I'm going to amend this to include have a summit, maybe a lot of the people who do activities here in the city of Worcester, and see what the pros, cons, the success.
Here's Joe Petty admitting that he got fucking dunked on over this order.
Wait, is this the metal detectors?
No, this is the
Arts
festival.
Oh.
He's like, we should listen to the artist. Let's change this.
Council and just to talk about this, at least privately at first.
Bear is 8.5 pounds, and he's only 5 months old. pretty sure that this cat is going to be
Time, there's a lot of effort.
the size of a
goes into
panther.
planning an event. There's a lot of expense that goes into
gear.
planning an event. I think that it's important that we hear.
That
from
overlay
the
is
community
loaded, Brian.
and,
Took me a
look
second to
forward
convert the
that.
HEIC.
Most of the events, I would say, is
Oh yeah, you want to throw that up?
big events that we have in the city. And bring all those planners in and we'll discuss it with them so we can.
Marcellus Williams, final statement. Just
I'm
wanted to
feeding
throw it out there in
him-
case anybody hasn't seen it.
Mm.
Do an event here. But we all hear it sometimes when people do events, the cost, the time, the effort, sometimes the confusion between the different departments. And I know we've been trying to reconcile that over this past year, and which is getting better. So I just like to make that amendment and send that to the city manager.
Can you repeat the amendment?
What's that? The amendment is that the manager meet with the different events, such as Star on the Street and the leadership team and other events, people who hold other events here in the community. Especially, we don't have to look, maybe not every, but every major event, we know what they are. And it's been a
No,
while.
name them, Joe. Name all the major events,
Some of
please.
the challenges that they have, just to listen to the challenge.
Dude, I listened to this guy talk at the WAC thing last night, talking about how great the city is for artists.
So, and also,
And it's
on-
just
and
all
also
horseshit
meet with
because
South Street,
meanwhile,
somehow,
they asked for one photo last night. I'm sitting here wearing a WAC shirt. It was just for the board. They didn't ask for a photo of all the people that they funded. They just asked for a photo of the people that did the fucking choosing.
That's awesome.
It boils my blood.
Council King.
Hey, at least we have an arts district that's totally real.
That's completely legitimate.
And
That
it's
said-
not just a preamble for windfall profits for developers that the former city manager works
Thank you,
for.
Mr. Chairman. I certainly appreciate.
That said,
the
fuck that
amendments
group.
to this
Everybody
particular
here, you should
item.
go apply for a grant. Go
And
get
I
money.
just want to publicly say first.
Oh, I'm applying.
Foremost.
Yeah, they're.
As a sitting city councilor.
We've got Wootney's gotten money before. I think everyone on this stream. Brendan, have you ever gotten any WAC grants?
No, I gave them out.
See,
but I did the cultural. I was on the cultural commission
Yeah.
before it became, but no, I used to hand them out.
The
I'm not
best-
creative enough to actually seek money for anything on
Received
that front.
this and felt it was
Not
utterly.
with that attitude. I've heard some good ideas.
yeah, me and Shaun are fucking idiots. We gave away 20% of the money
And I
for a
wanted to take a
3-minute
moment
comedy
to,
set.
reflect
Which is pretty
on
genius.
that
Was that Shaun and Brian's great idea? That show
Oh,
was
yeah.
so much fun.
the money and everything that's.
Yeah, I wish they would give us more money to do it again.
That, the amount of.
I've used all my Worcester Arts Council grant funding money very responsibly.
And the like.
Yeah. Well, you're a serious-minded journalist.
What's approaching $20,000 or so.
I definitely finished my comic book project on time. That's for sure. That is totally for sure.
Event.
I am very excited that I did not have to give that money back. The comic book will be finished.
Hell yeah!
Just
I
not
cannot
in
wait.
not in the year window that they gave us.
I cannot wait to read that, dude.
Individuals before us.
Yes.
over the last
Yeah,
year.
there are some. There's a little bit of
Work with parks.
proof that you have to do. It's not super strict.
It depends on which one you get. If you get one of the fellowships like I did, you have to do no proving. But if you get a project grant, you have to do a little bit of accounting.
And it's disheartening, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
That there's barriers. I'm not surprised, but
Bear's
certainly
cuddle ratio
disheartening.
is
And
pretty
to
good.
me,
He does enjoy
in
violence,
particular,
so I
what's
can't lie
striking
about
Is
that.
that by
But
appearances,
he also likes to be cuddly like this
you know,
sometimes.
Start always gave the impression that there was.
Gio, I'm not sure how we're going to be releasing it yet.
City.
We might do a Kickstarter thing.
Please do a Kickstarter. I would kill for a physical release.
Yeah, I definitely want physical releases.
Dude, I still think. Well, you let me read the treatment for it, and I've been thinking about it ever since. I'm so psyched for it.
Dude, the art after the treatment pages is so much better than the treatment page art.
I can't wait, dude.
All the pages are drawn.
Dan showed me at the open mic a couple weeks ago. He showed me a little preview of one of the splash pages, and
It is so sick. Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. Gus's big sister is a little bit dramatic.
Particular matter. But
And Gus is a little bit too,
I
I
don't know
mean,
that
Bear's a little bit too playful
should
for
ever
Gus.
get involved in trying to
But
replicate.
they're getting used to each other.
Something of this stature in terms of leading on it, and you corrected.
But yeah, I mean, the comic book will be,
I appreciate it.
all the pages will be fully colored
so
soon.
Again,
and then Travis
I would
has
like all things to
a
change.
lot of lettering work.
Take a look specifically as
Do I?
separate order.
How many pages?
Our motion.
What's 32
that
minus
we really
9?
Take a look at the.
Oh, hell yeah. You have all the pages. Hell yeah.
23.
Yeah.
We take a look at.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I did the math. 23.
What is it really
Yeah.
cost?
We
You know,
we
it's
have
like-
some pages that we
and
can
it's-
send to you, but not all of them.
It's got to be some way to.
Because we adjusted the script to the what that
I'd like a
language
report
is.
back on what we can do differently based on what they do in other municipalities.
George,
When
I
we're
have
talking
heard
about
that they
the,
got a bunch of submissions and they're going
other
through them.
individuals. I can't remember the term.
I'm excited to see what they pick.
Oh, is
I
that
didn't
still
even-
open? I meant to enter that.
Nah, it's closed.
Busking. You know,
Busking,
my question
busking?
is, why do they have to pay to do that in the parks?
I was gonna send in a design that was just the box but flipped the opposite way.
Like showed the inside.
No, literally back to front.
And I'd like to know what would.
I was
be the
talking to
fiscal
some people
impact.
last
It's a
night,
big hit,
and
obviously, we can't do
I
it.
liked
If
the
it's-
idea that they went with a
if
printed
it's-
one as
if
opposed
it's
to a
not that
painted
much,
one because it
let's
just
do more.
opens
Let's
up
make it
the
accessible and
opportunities for
vibrant
people
cities
that don't
to the best of our
necessarily have
ability,
those
Mr.
skills.
Chairman. Thank you.
But as I understand it, nobody really took advantage of like a
Thank you,
third
Mr. Chairman.
dimension.
Yeah, I
Everything
agree with
kinda
Councilor
kept it
King.
very flat.
I
And I
know
was
some of the
hoping somebody
directors,
would make it into like, I don't know, the
operators
matrix.
and the
Yeah.
volunteers there.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, George.
Definitely really sad to see it. You know, I
It's amazing,
It was
George.
great.
But, you know, one of the.
Not
How'd you put
everyone
yourself out
can
there?
be a Walter Bird level artist.
With understanding that.
I mean, and that right there is 100% why I didn't,
it comes
I chose
down
not to enter,
to
because I want,
these
like, I
events,
want other
it
people to
seems
get
like,
opportunities.
You know,
That's
what's
it's
requested.
really
Yeah,
important.
if Travis entered, his big swinging dick would just fucking win.
I would have just
walking
put a
away.
picture
So.
of my hog, and you know they would have
All
to
the events
pick
are the
it.
same as far as security goes.
How
The
could they not?
safety That's required at the event.
I need to make a pair of underwear
How
with
it's
just a
different
hog
from
picture
other
on
events
it.
that are very similar. Probably not.
People, yeah, if people don't follow the Innocence Project, unfortunately, this situation tonight is not even uncommon.
brings so much culture
Not
in
unique,
that
certainly.
we're
It
gonna
is
lose
not
that as
even
well.
uncommon.
And
This is
that's my
happening
concern.
everywhere,
Understanding that. So when
constantly,
it comes to the culture,
in
David,
just about
when I
every
was
corner
there
of the United States.
the other day, sorry, 2 weeks ago,
There's so many people that are doing good work
was
and
there was a lady
helping
that had a
people.
map, and everybody
But
came in with
this
a
isn't
pin,
gonna
and you were able to pin where on the
this
map
isn't gonna
of the
stop.
world
And
where
you know,
come from.
so support the Innocence Project and in any way you can. At the very least, follow their social media
And it
for
goes to
updates
show
on
that in Worcester,
the other
we
folks that
have so
are
much culture, we have so much that
being
goes on.
railroaded.
And the Star is one of those places where people feel comfortable. They bring their families, and obviously every year it seems to grow more and more. They offer opportunities for youth to be involved as well, and they have acts, they have dancing. So that's something to me in the city that, you know, we definitely should look in and see how we can support it versus trying to look so-called try to take it over. So I look forward to that.
I don't think there is an argument for the death penalty
Obviously, it's in my district. I share with other councilors
on
but
any
it's something
level
that we really
that
need to
holds together.
probably stand on the outside and see how we can support them versus.
I just don't think
the
that
so-called,
you know,
saying about trying to.
there
again,
is.
I appreciate being able to change that, and I look forward to what we got going next.
From a
roll call.
From a, you know, if you want to even get off a morality standpoint,
Councilor
from
Gloria?
a
Councilor Aguirre?
purely
Yes.
fiscal
Councilor
standpoint,
Carlson?
it makes
Councilor
zero
Dion?
sense to
Councilor
execute
Ada?
people.
Yes.
It is
Councilor Silo?
purely
Yes.
about
Councilor
the
Russell?
cruelty.
Yes. Councilor Toomey?
If you go back again to
Yes.
Bill's original statement, if like in theory, if like you
Yes.
had a functioning democracy, I always kind of liked it for treason. But
Sure.
but that would be it. Like tonight
Yeah.
would be a great time to actually be executing somebody in theory, for
Right.
wrongly executing somebody.
Right.
Like,
First of all,
Yeah, listen, yes, crimes of state and white collar crimes, you can get me on board
yeah,
for
there you go. Banking crimes, sure.
yeah, things that actually like victimize people. But
You defrauded poor people out of their pension.
And
Yeah.
at the end of City Hall, it's
George.
never open, because that was my intent of the.
George has just changed. He doesn't want full body. He wants metal and only when they're open. He's like, I'm sorry to the public. I did this over the phone.
An executive session sometime very soon. So I'm going to hold this until that.
You want to put it on the table until then, or you want to hold it?
If the manager thinks it'll. be
Sally,
done
they're
in
doing
a
it right
couple-
now.
You can hold it.
couple
Why you
weeks,
have to hold it twice then? Okay.
Oh, they're talking about it now. I am so checked out. It's unbelievable.
You're going to hold it under privilege, Councilor King?
Still got vacation, Brand.
Yeah,
If a
I'd
motion laid on the table, let's take precedence over.
Dude, King is on one today. Jesus.
Okay.
Joe's been needling him a lot lately. I think he's
Next up,
taken every opportunity to
City
throw back at
manager,
him hard.
Provided council with draft language within 30 days that would implement institutional zoning ordinance.
So that was just
and
held.
require institutions such as colleges, universities, and hospitals to file 10-year institutional master plan for the city of Worcester. Councilor Mero-Carlson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just, want folks, my
Yeah, I mean,
colleagues to
Cameron, that's
understand this
again,
isn't
that's the other argument
about
for
stopping any
like,
institution.
it's just not holding on up
or
under
university or
but that's what we
any
mean. There's no way to do it
or,
that is just. There's no way to do it
we're
that's
not
just.
looking to
There's no way to
stop
do it
anything.
flawlessly.
What we're
There's
looking
no way to do it
do
without knowing
is do an
for certain that you're not making a mistake,
plan,
and
which
for that
at
reason
this point,
alone,
Boston
it
has
should be
one, and it's
disqualified.
worked
But there's so many other
extremely
reasons also
well for
disqualify
them.
it.
I think everyone here knows that Cambridge has
If Candy
one.
had full sleeve tattoos, she might
Cambridge's,
actually be a pretty cool looking counselor.
Plan is a little more
Yeah,
stringent.
dude. Candy,
where
if
they,
Candy that hangs out at
working
Sister Rose.
with the different colleges and universities.
She'd have to change it to CANDI
But again,
though.
Mr.
Oh,
Chairman,
yeah.
For JMO with
this
her.
is really for us. I mean, an
K-A-N-D-I.
institutional master plan, comprehensive development plan that describes an institution's existing facilities, long-range planning goals and proposed projects, potential impacts on surrounding
Bryan.
communities, and outlined proposed
Your
community
algorithm's
neighborhood
fucked.
benefits. Boston created the institutional master plan in order to ensure that the expansion of hospitals and universities enhance the institution's public service and economic development role in surrounding communities, and that the city's institutional master plan must be updated every couple of years. Mr.
That was
Chairman,
the,
we talk oftentimes
on my trip,
about
I was totally checked out from
all
social
of our
media.
properties that are
And
off the tax
I bought
rolls, and
a
we do
physical
talk
copy of The
about,
Guardian one day.
our
And
pilot
the
programs
first
and
story
time
that I
and time
read
again
in the
that
world
Counselor- whether
section
it's Counselor King,
was they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs
I
comment.
know that Counselor
And I was like,
Hygiag
oh my
has
God.
talked about,
I don't want to go back.
trying to find out how much of some of these
Did you guys see this?
nonprofits.
I don't know what that is, dude.
I know.
Taxes,
Hold
how
on, make it
much
solo.
of our
It's a
tax
public
roll
notice
is
saying
off
that
the
any member of
tax
the
roll.
public may make an audio or video
We
recording, but
continue
they
to
have to notify
struggle
the
in
chair
this
first.
community, and the biggest thing I think we
What?
continue to struggle with
Oh fuck.
is going
David
to
Wentz.
all of our meetings and people, and we just
Yeah, I
had
don't
this
think that's
happen
true.
to us again, Mr. Chairman, with up on Lincoln Street, and we talk about the Edward M. Kennedy.
No, it's called
Center
At
up
the
there,
Common
which,
now.
They bought a.
Oh
piece
yeah, I
of
saw
land
that.
for
That's
600
wicked funny.
Lincoln Street, and at this point,
All
I
lowercase
know
at with a
the
at
director
symbol.
there, and his plans at this point is to leave that
Cursed property.
I shouldn't say
Absolutely
leave it.
cursed.
He's looking to clean it up, pave it, put a fence around it, and at this point, it will become a parking lot at this point. Now, all
You know,
we're
they
saying with
paved
some
Paradise
of
and did
what
that.
is here is that somebody like Mr. Carrigan would have a conversation with the city and letting people know, and quite frankly, letting the neighborhoods know.
She's so
Mr.
Trumpy. I
Chairman,
don't know what she
a
speaks.
institutional master plan.
Letting
also
people know, and quite
is a
frankly,
document
letting the
that
council
would
know.
allow us to also say, we want to institute a community benefits.
We want to
inside
institute
of
a community
this
benefits.
Institutional master plan. Again, it is not to prohibit any institution from doing any expansion, because we know that we can't at this point under the law. But this really
Ugh,
gives
pesky
a
laws.
tool for the city manager.
I looked
and
up
for
this thing that
council
she's
to
talking
know
about,
what is
and the only thing that
happening
came up was
with,
a
any
1998
that is taking place in the city.
Worcester Regional
So
Research
that's
Bureau
the reason that I
report
had,
about how it
talked
might be a good
about,
idea, but
Mr.
you'll
Chairman,
definitely get
there
sued if
is,
you implement it.
and I certainly am happy
So,
to share Cambridge's institutional master plan, along with Boston has their master plan and how it works. And I would encourage any one of my colleagues to talk to both of those cities, because quite frankly, they're happy with what they've done. And again, if you talk to the institutions out there and universities.
what the fuck is she talking about? The Cambridge Institutional Growth Master Plan is from 1981.
Has an issue with how these are playing out. So I would love it if, we could do something like this here in the city of Worcester, because I would like for us not to be in a position that we've been in over the last 6 weeks or so.
Okay, don't make fucking shitty deals with developers.
A
How about
document
that?
like this would basically be saying that they would have a conversation with the city. So that's the reason for the order, Mr. Chairman, and hopefully people can support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Pasil, followed by Councilor King.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I really want to thank Councilor Carlson for bringing up the Edward Kennedy Health Center parking lot on Lincoln Street. There's a real sense of distrust. And when we're in these neighborhood meetings and people are asking us what's going to happen on a parcel, and I know it might seem really small, it's not small to the people on Lincoln Street, and we each have heard different things, it's confusing. It would be really helpful, and I think neighbors and residents would really appreciate it if we could all be on the same page and be able to say to them, yes, this is going to be a parking lot, no question, just in general. This would be very helpful, so thank you.
Thank you. Councilor King.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to sign on to this. What I would like, in addition to the draft language, is just a report on institutional zoning ordinances, best practices, et cetera. This certainly is a step in the right direction, or it could be. And again, I'm asking the manager to take a look at all of the items that this council has filed during his tenure as city manager relating to nonprofits and what have you, and to be responsive in a timely manner once those have been reviewed, Mr. Chairman. All we want is folks to do their fair share here in the city of Worcester. And again, I'm going to state this, I've said it 3 or 4 times recently. It's a bit perturbing and to see these folks, universities, expanding outwards into our neighborhood when we have a housing crisis, extending outwards in our neighborhoods, and taking things off of tax rolls. And again, as I said previously, I prefer they're looking for dorms and housing that they.
It's crazy that when you go back to the 80s and 90s, it was the colleges being willing to expand out into the neighborhoods was the only thing that stabilized our overabundance of housing that had been just left to rot for decades.
To one degree or another, or as he feels is appropriate.
Not to say we should mix things up. It's just interesting how quickly that changed around.
Right.
Roll call.
Yeah. Well, that was the whole point of the Gateway Park project in the first place,
Right.
was using WPI as an anchor institution to drive growth. And now that they're getting in the way of Worcester's little pet tourism industry, they don't like that anymore.
Yeah.
With the recent WPI purchases of the hotels, I think this is
But
very worthwhile.
WPI is still driving a lot more growth in the city than
all our
the
questions,
DCU center. So
we have regarding this issue, it's certainly
it's extremely stupid the way these fucks talk about this shit.
What do you mean? Billy Strings sold out the DCU Center 2 nights in a row.
Okay, so
That's crazy.
But the same could be said for Clark again back in like the late 80s through the 90s as well, right? I mean, it's like all those 3-deckers were just, they're just falling into disrepair. And now we have like a Main Street that's probably the most vibrant, walkable neighborhood in the city that most of these councilors would never go anywhere near because it's not the kind of stores that they want to visit.
Russell.
Councilor
Toomey.
But
and Mayor Petty.
Yes,
It is that.
recommend
It's like
by
Clark
council
is
to
what
report concerning
provided
the
that for
three
the city.
reasons for the merger between the Parks Department, Department of Public Works, for requesting Manager Kunz to report the analysis of advantages and disadvantages of separating said departments. Councilor Bergman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This has come up in the past, maybe by some of my colleagues. I certainly had an iteration of this some time ago. In the timing of this, when I filed this, was before the announcement that our former commissioner will be returning, Commissioner Moylan. So I'm not sure the timing of this is as good as I would have liked, because I think it really should be addressed when we have a permanent commission. My understanding is Commissioner Moylan's here for to the
That's
end of the term.
hilarious.
But in any event, I think it does need to be addressed, because there was a time that these departments, Public Works and Parks, were separate. And I know there's pluses and minuses with
Damn.
the departments. I know at the time there were some efficiencies and there was a budget.
Curious what band.
Were split, but I also know that in splitting the departments, sometimes the resources wind up at DPW and not necessarily at Parks. And I've always said this about Parks. The interesting thing to me about Parks is when they need their resources most is a very short window of time, generally between April, May, and ending in September. That doesn't mean they don't need resources the rest of the year, but that's when the parks have to get up and running. They have to look good and they have to be working for the residents of the city of Worcester. So I'd like to know why it's split. I don't have all the reasons for it, and I'd like to know if it makes
Ice Nine Kills. I don't know.
Oh, they ran the Silver Screen Con, the horror convention that was there. They're like a horror. They're very similar in following to like an ICP, where they have like
Gotcha. Yeah.
like an ecosystem.
Right.
More information about it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. So we'll take a roll call. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor Aguirre?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Mero-Carlson?
Not
Councilor Nguyen?
so much. As far as I know, I have never seen them. I just went to the convention,
Russell?
but it seems like
Yes.
they're just a band that has like some
Yes.
horror imagery surrounding
Yes.
them, not to the extent of gore, but they also are huge horror fans and are like run this convention that pulls in, regular horror convention stuff, and then also like
regarding cars making right turns.
they're their posters and T-shirts show up in like the new Scream movies and stuff like that. They're just like adjacent horror adjacent, like cult, like
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Ojeda?
the circles they
Solo?
yeah
Councilor Russell?
they swing in.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes, request manager work with the Worcester Regional Transit Authority, administrator provide council with report assessing ridership levels at WRTA. Councilor Bergman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One of the benefits that came out of the unanimous vote that we had in the WRTA's taking upon itself to be fare-free was that the fare boxes were removed. But one of the downsides of it being removed is that we really don't have a count of how many people are using the buses. And we have a number of general passengers, but sometimes the same person is riding the bus several times. I personally, and it's anecdotal, I don't stop at every bus stop to look at how filled the buses are, but it seems to me the buses are more often empty than full. I know we have a new chairperson. I'm not aware of any subcommittee meetings yet that have addressed how it's with the new chairperson of the WRTA. I still hear people complaining about buses being late and routes not being efficient as far as where people are being picked up and dropped off.
They funded above the bare minimum.
I don't see the buses that full. I don't know if we can tell how many people use the buses. I don't know that, but I think it's helpful to know that. We've had a lot of discussion over the last number of months over traffic-related issues, and Boston's been thrown in the mix of the conversation.
Wow, that's such a good quote considering that ridership was released yesterday. I don't know if we can tell how many people are riding the buses.
I don't know how we measure that. So I'd like to see if
I don't know how we measure that. Was there Antifa? Could you link the ridership numbers?
For the record, the fares have nothing to do with the quality of service. I met with the WRTA director just a few weeks ago to talk about certain things in District 5, and he did.
You think Mo ever Crosses Park Avenue, unless it's to go to City Hall or the courthouse.
Administrator,
Never,
that he
not
is
once.
looking at data, he's looking at connectivity, he's looking at
Yeah, he's probably seeing the bus on like
he's looking at
Chandler
bus
Street.
stops.
Up
The one down the
the-
street from me, where the guy's just kind of outside smoking a cigarette because there's
Yeah.
nobody there, and the road starts in 10 minutes.
I
Yeah.
would rather have a conversation with the WRTA director to share with the city council all the refreshing ideas that he has. I would also like to shout out to him for coming out to our neighborhood meeting and actually meeting with residents over and over again. I don't want people to think that just because we have a fare-free WRTA, that's impacting our ridership in a negative way. I don't know if council is aware, but the city of Worcester was actually cited in one of the reports as being one of the cities across the country that has had quite a positive impact on ridership. So I'm unsure what this order will do, but I just wanted to be on the record to say I support the new executive director, Rickman. I think he's doing a fabulous job. I think we should be supporting his work. Anything, please invite
In
him
Europe
to
and in
share
real
the refreshing ideas that
cities
he has.
across America, there are dedicated bus lanes that make the bus
Thank you,
itself
Mr. Chairman.
bus run a lot more smoothly.
Like
And I think that Worcester would burn the city down if we tried to do that here.
Yeah.
Like a dedicated bus lane on Park Ave.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
And folks have heard me say this for so many years, but as a frontline social worker in the city for close to 3 decades, what is as important as ridership levels, Mr. Chairman?
But there's so many streets that would make sense on too, like Gold Star Boulevard, where you have we're like 400 lanes
that
of
people
traffic.
are riding. A qualitative analysis. I'll make that as a way of a separate motion, Mr. Chairman, because the value of the service can't simply be measured in numbers. I think perhaps the efficacy and the efficiency of the WRTA, which came first, the chicken or the egg, when you talk about ridership levels and reliability and accessibility, all those things are important.
Freaking Bear's eating the rest of my baked potato. He's going to be a food thief. He eats fucking everything.
Really get a sense. I'd love a report, a qualitative report.
He looks like a goddamn squirrel. He acts like it.
I'm not go through the chair, but perhaps as part
Apparently,
of
Bear hasn't been paying attention to the news. Doesn't realize what we do to thieving
some of our
cats.
local institutions who may be interested in such an analysis. But really,
Hey, listen, he's
a
not-
qualitative study.
Look at him.
Taking a
Look
look
at him.
at what people
He's
are
a little
using it for. And
He's
why.
my big boy, though.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
He's your curvy son.
My curvy son.
A rare second.
Don't talk to me or my curvy son ever again.
Just to be clear, I'll look at the tape later, but I don't recall ever saying that because it went fare free, it affected the quality of the ridership or the riders. I never said that. If I did say that, it certainly was misinterpreted. I'm glad it's fare free. I supported it. I voted for that. But what I am saying is I still hear the same complaints. I was chair of that committee. I was
From
very
who?
involved in that committee. So if there's a discussion to be had with the new chairperson, the solution is simple. I accept Councilor King's suggestion for an amendment. Send it to the committee. I don't know if they've met yet this year. Send it to the committee. They can have a conversation. Maybe I'll be there as well with the new chairperson. But to me, it has nothing to do with fare free. These are the same complaints that predated it being fare free, and it's the same complaint. I got one within the last couple of days. Somebody said the buses are always late. I mean, through the chair to the city manager, if he knows, what do we contribute to the WRTA for dollars?
Oh, the bare minimum.
Through the chair to the council, we do not contribute to the WRTA.
So there is no, so we have no oversight other than our representation on there. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So perhaps we can have our representation on the WRTA board show up at a future subcommittee meeting. But I'm concerned that there's a lot of space on those buses that aren't being utilized. And I don't know how to quantify it. And it's not a negative comment on the fact that it's fare free or that we don't spend any money. It's just a reality. Maybe we can make it more efficient. That's all I'm getting at. I think it begins.
Well, how are you going to make it more efficient? It's not a city entity.
Councilor Basil.
Maybe we could rent out the buses as storage units.
I do just want to shout out, the Research Bureau did a report on the WRTA last year. That was a really great report. In the meantime, if anyone wants to read it. And yeah, I mean, I appreciate wanting to know. which
Raleigh's a
models
much
is
better
But
fit.
obviously the fare free is a wonderful asset to the community. So thank you.
Okay. So send that to.
Mr. Chairman, just point of order. I'm not quite sure if I did do an amendment. If I did, I'd like to.
No, you did a separate motion.
Withdraw, I'd like a separate motion. Thank you.
Okay. So it's two motions. Take those collectively. Roll call.
Council Bergman,
Yes, yes.
Council Calorio,
Yes.
Council Haji,
Yes.
Council King,
Yes.
Council Mero-Carlson,
Yes.
Council Nguyen,
Yes.
Council Ada,
Yes.
Council Pasillo,
Yes.
Council Russell,
Yes.
Council Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes. 14A and 14B. Take them collectively. Motion to accept. Roll call.
Council Bergman,
I don't know what kind of microphone Kate has set up, but I can only picture her being inside of like a terrarium, she's in a fish tank right now.
Yes.
Council Calorio,
Yes.
Council Haji,
Yes.
Council King,
Yes.
Council Mero-Carlson, Council Nguyen,
I just hope we hear something like a margarita shaker,
Pasillo,
Yes.
Council Russell,
Yes.
Council Toomey,
the uncorking of a fresh bottle of wine.
Motion to adjourn. Roll call. Friday, don't tell Council King.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, sweet, sweet music to my ears.
Need to attend a vigil. Might have been last night.
Listen.
South Ludlow and
If they get rid of
oh.
fare-free buses, then I have to start driving my dad everywhere.
I want to hear
Do
this.
that.
of Jamie Lee Fish. Councilor
I wanna
Haji,
hear
I was
this.
present with some family members as well. And, you know, I certainly had the opportunity to extend condolences, but while we were there and seeing people crossing the street, it became very evident, and I know that the council here supports this, the lighting there was extremely, extremely lacking. And, you know, I watched some folks return to their car, and it was very difficult to see them. And I don't know what the standards are for lighting. I know we've had order upon order about crosswalks and lighting and et cetera. But I'd like to make a motion then in that area that we looked at immediately in terms of the lighting. And, you know, with respect to additional lighting at points throughout the city where we have some challenges for vulnerable road users, if the manager could get back forthwith on those items that have come from this council. Rest in peace to Jamie Lynn and the family. But this is something that's, you know, the lighting isn't going to change by itself, Mr. Chairman. It needs to happen ASAP over there. Thank you.
Roll call.
Council Bergman, Council Calorio,
Yes.
Council Haji, Council King,
Yes.
Council Mero-Carlson, Council Nguyen,
Yes.
Council Ada,
Yes.
Council
Yeah,
Pasillo,
I need to
Russell,
Yes.
go drive that stretch of South Ludlow where
Motion to
where
adjourn. Roll call.
Jay Fish got
Bergman,
getting killed
Calorio,
there
Yes.
because it seems like it's wicked
Yes.
wicked
Council
dangerous.
Mero-Carlson,
And there's a common cut through for people
Council Pasillo,
coming from Webster Square to
Russell,
Auburn.
Yes.
Council Toomey, and Mayor Petty.
And I bet people fly on it. I'm not in that part of Worcester very often, so I've never seen it. But just like for my piece, yeah, that's great. I love that they're done already. But for my piece earlier this week, I think it was on Monday, I was like looking at Google Maps, and it's like that's just like a straightaway road with no crosswalk, nothing to calm traffic at all.
No, it's a weird one, Bill. Even over by where the the development is over on the James Street side, where there's a couple bars and whatnot.
Yeah.
They put in a crosswalk there, a signal crosswalk, if I'm not mistaken. And even there, it's challenging dealing with pedestrians on that side because the density of traffic and how aggressive the driving is there.
Yeah,
it's just a long, straight stretch of road that's it's really
Right.
easy to drive like an asshole.
Yeah, because if you look at it, the spot where I can probably queue up the illustration, the screenshot I took, and like it's a third of the way down if you're going south. Like enough time to have hit absolute max speed of however fast that road allows you to travel, which is probably pretty fast. But yeah, like I said, King's motion about putting lighting there is interesting because if the whole thing just has no street lights too, I mean, that's just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That was a sad story to come back to for sure.
Yeah.
So now-
Yeah, terrible. And it's just another, unfortunately, in a very long line this summer of preventable unnecessary deaths.
It
And
just keeps happening.
So yeah, I mean, relatively short meeting tonight, which is nice because they're fucking losers and they don't do anything, so might as well not waste our time, right?
Yeah. I mean, the majority, like, it'd be fun. Not fun isn't the right word. It'd be interesting to look at how much of this meeting they spent speaking about how long that they speak, right? Because that was like, it might be, it literally might be half. And I'm just looking at my timestamps here from my notes. Public comment was done at 7:10, and then I didn't take another note about anything because I checked out for that whole conversation until 8:05, and it's 9 now. So it was at least an hour. So yeah,
it's
what? It's 8:17.
It's 8:17. Are you
What?
still
Not
on?
even 9
Are you still
o'clock.
on Ireland time?
It's yeah. I thought it was 9 in my head.
So yeah, even weirder.
It's 8:17.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah, that's awesome.
You can still catch a movie tonight.
Not in Worcester.
Well, no. Nope.
Never again.
So yeah, I mean, listen, we talked about a lot of important things tonight. They didn't do anything really. I mean, it was really all on this side of the stream. So
We kind of carried it tonight.
Yeah,
like usual.
Yeah, listen, they'll chip in eventually, but
Yeah.
I would just like to say how fucking awesome it is. Like tonight was one of those weird nights where there wasn't a lot of like super heady stuff, and the number of people who called in to comment, and even I think in the council chambers who are like loosely affiliated with what we're doing here. And I know we didn't like create like your ability to fucking speak and whatnot, but it's really cool. I think that there's this many people that support each other just in participating, especially after we started the show. I think universally agreeing that sometimes it seems futile to really participate in government, especially when they're just going around murdering people and whatnot. Yet there's everybody that's here that is participating in arguably the most mundane government on earth.
There were 32 people with us tonight at one point. So that's incredible. You people are absolutely incredible. Really appreciate y'all wanting to hang with us. And because it does seem really futile some weeks, especially the really long, grueling meetings. So it's always like re-energizing to see that there's an audience and there's a community here of people that really give a shit. So thanks, y'all.
Yeah. It's a solidarity network. We help each other get through it.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. And we appreciate you guys always hanging out so much and being so cool and fun. And I just want to put this out there on the internet that if somebody kills Governor Mark Parsons, I will donate to their legal defense fund. So just something to think about. Travis, we'll see you later. Good call. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying if they did, right. I hope he gets killed by somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take part in it, but I will make sure that they get the best defense afforded to them, which is their right under the Constitution of the United States, which doesn't mean anything. So
and yeah, I would totally also contribute to that in like a sort of Skyrim mod scenario where he's
right,
where he's the overseer of Vardenfell.
Just want to thank everyone for tuning into our comedy show.
Also, one more plug. There's like 15 of these left now. Get your Travis Duda designed outdoor cat. Worcester sucks. Dad hat.
So good.
I'll put them in the mailbox. BillShader.bigcartel.com.
Get on it, everybody. Make sure you're following BillShaner.substack.com, WorcesterSucks.email, @Worcester_sucks. Follow us at on Instagram as well, or at Wooten Any Comedy for more comedy stuff, which all this was tonight. Not real.
For sure.
And follow at WCT 3000 for all of your updates on when we're going to be saying funny things on this stream, and again, not saying real stuff that's actionable. Subscribe, like many of the cool people we talked about earlier did tonight. Subscribe to our Twitch, and we'll keep doing this for the rest of our damn lives, because I got nowhere else to be, and I like all these people.
Nowhere else to go.
You guys got anything coming up in the next week?
Oh, there's book club is on Thursday. It's the last one for 8 hours for What We Will, and then we'll be picking a new book at the meeting. So
very cool. So this Thursday
is going to be at Cordella's Coffee at 7 p.m. And come hang.
Yeah, and that'll be streamed here for anybody
streamed here, yeah.
But if you can make it in person, it's a better experience. It's a cool time.
It's a better in person.
Come on down and hang. Next Thursday, what is that? Next Thursday is October 2nd, right? 3rd?
No.
October 3rd.
Already at October? God.
Yeah, I know, dude. September had somewhere to be. October 3rd, Thursday, 7 p.m. at where are we doing this? The coffee house that I'm a new tradition. Couldn't remember the name of it for a minute because I was thinking about Cordella's. New tradition. We are bringing back the Mamaru and Wooten Annie collaboration. It's another Hubie Halloween screening, everybody. We're kicking off October.
Nice.
It's Hubin time again. It's the Hubie Doobie picture show. We're going to be doing live commentary and quote along. So remember to send your favorite quotes to at Wooten Annie Comedy or at It's Hubin Time. So we can get them in there. But yeah, 7 p.m. John is going to be doing a special Hubie Halloween themed menu. And we're going to have a great time. We're going to watch the movie. We're going to hang out. And you should come along. Last year was so fun. And again, I've watched the movie so many times since then. So I've picked up on a lot more nuances. And I'm ready to get into it. So, come on down again, 7 p.m. next Thursday. I'll have a poster out tonight, but I just wanted to let you guys know while you're here. And a lot of fun. We got a lot of fun Wooten Annie stuff coming up. We got some more hot dogs coming up this fall. We're going back to Heartland Barber in Millbury for another show coming up soon. So some great stuff. And yeah, thank you guys all for tuning in tonight, for hanging out with us. We love you so much. We'll see you next Tuesday. Abolish the death penalty. Free Palestine. We love you. Good night.